Hello. How are we all today? It's a bit of an earlier start. I thought I'd give a few things a try. Obviously, with all the faff that was the start of the last few streams. I thought what I'll do is I'll start Twitch. I'll start streaming on Twitch just a little bit earlier. Let that run for like 5 minutes and then start the YouTube one rather than starting them simultaneously. Seems to be working. On my crappy internet of all things. So, yeah. Hopefully, things are gonna be okay. Hopefully, things are gonna be okay. But yeah, I accidentally did a bit of an oopsie. I was going through doing the little bits of promo, just sharing the stream and stuff in different Discord servers, and I accidentally had the @everyone copied as well. So I was like, I don't think it went through on most of the servers, but I think I did accidentally do a little @everyone in a couple servers. So quickly went back and changed it, removed the @ just so I'm not spamming people, because that's not what we want to be doing. But yeah, here we are. Cool. Hello. Hello. How are we doing? Have we met before? Have we met before? Where have you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? You'll have to let me know. Is the music too loud as well? Because I'm doing something a bit different. I've got a Spotify playlist going from Stream Beats. The only downside being the fact that every now and again we're going to get ads playing because I don't pay for Spotify. But copyright-free lo-fi, that's all I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing. And that's what That's what I'm about. Ooh, really quick, I need to copy the YouTube chat, because that is not currently I need to figure out, there's got to be a better way to have like a sustainable YouTube chat that doesn't constantly switch between streams, because currently I'm having to copy and paste the URL for each separate stream I'm doing on YouTube sites. Like Twitch is great, you just stream on Twitch, it's on the same place, easy as pie. YouTube just making my life a bit difficult when it comes to the old streaming, which I get, it's not their primary platform, blah blah blah, but still, it would be nice. It would be nice. Let's log into this. Oh, what's my... Can I remember my password for my email? That's a good question. Luckily, the answer is yes. I swear, one of these days I'll be a bit more prepared at the beginning of the stream. I promise. I promise. We're logging into this one. I promise. Okay, that's not what we want. We want the stream chat, not YouTube. Why is YouTube opened? I just wanted the chat. Like, why? Pop out chat. This is the thing I need. This is the thing I want. Like, look what's going on. I've opened up in OBS, right? Got OBS open, and it's turned into an instance of YouTube in OBS. I don't want that. I just wanted the chat. Is that too much to ask for? Please. You know, I'm just gonna close that one. Never any help anyway, so it is what it is. What I can do, I'll bring the Twitch activity here, and I'll put YouTube there. There we go. And then what I'll do, I'll just make that smaller. I don't even know what's going on, but you know what? This is already going better than it was than previous streams. The streams are alive, and hello in the YouTube chat. How are we today? What's new? What's fun? What's going on? We're actually going to get into the stream a lot quicker. How crazy is that? Things are going, dare I say it, well? Maybe. They're not breaking, so that's always a good start. I say that, it's going to start breaking. Excellent connection, bitrate smooth. I think we've mastered it, guys. I think we're golden, which I'm all about. All right, so today, the plan of action, the POA, as some might say. We're going to do some level design. We're actually going to do some work, because I've taken a bit of a break from Amber's title for the past month, really, month and a half. And after doing a bit of work on it yesterday, I must say, it really did reignite my passion for this game. Not that I didn't have it before, but I'm wanting to really work on it today. Maybe get a couple systems down. Well, maybe not the systems. I might be working on, well, one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to add the particle system that we had on the player yesterday. So yesterday we came to the conclusion that the easiest way to make the player just a little bit more visible was to have this kind of faint glow around them, which we're not actually using light for. We're not using light for this. We're using just a rounded sprite that fades, just so you can kind of see in the background. It's very obvious in the nighttime. However, if we switch it over to day, or we'll go to my favorite time of day in the game. We'll go to dawn. So we've got those nice autumnal hues. Because I'm a designer, so I have to use fancy phrases like that, so it sounds like I know what I'm doing. But you can really start to see the difference it makes. Granted, we've got that kind of pixel effect on it at the moment, so it's not looking as good as it could do. But I must say, it is really highlighting where the player is, especially when you go into things like the cave here. It's a bit too much at the moment, I think. I do think it's a bit too much still, but we can change that. Plus, there's also the issue with when you're mantling. Because of how I've got the mantle set up, it's going to automatically snap over. That's an easy enough fix to sort. That's easy enough to do. So we've got plenty of time to do this stuff today, because today's going to be an extra long stream. Yeah, and it's a bit of a celebratory stream as well, because after we've completed the stream, once I hit end stream at the end of this, we'll have checked all the criteria for affiliate on Twitch. I know. Thank you very much. 1 week in. It took 1 week to get affiliate. Over the moon with that. Over the moon with the amount of support we've got. It's been absolutely crazy. Especially from Dynam. Dynam has been an absolute mad lad when it comes to getting this all sorted. And helping me get kick-started on the streaming journey. Really looking forward to the end of this week, because yeah, we're gonna be entering the Pirate Software Game Jam, so that's gonna be epic. I really have no idea what to expect. I've only ever done one game jam before, and that was the global game jam, which I did with a few friends last year. But we decided that we were going to use the not the Unity engine, the Unreal engine. We were going to use Unreal 5, which is great, except for the fact that none of us had experience using Unreal 5, so we didn't get a completed game by the end of it. Whereas this year, I'm going to really advocate to use Unity, because I know how to use Unity. So we can actually get something prototyped pretty quickly in both instances, both with the Pirate Software Jam with Dynam, and the global game jam again that I'll be repeating with my friends. So yeah, it should be a good time. It should be a good time. And yesterday I also acquired Photoshop and Premiere Pro. So I'm going to open that up just so we can get that running, just so I can make a couple pixel sprites, or not pixel, but non-pixelated sprites, I should say, because this is great. This works. It's a good proof of concept. However, I don't want it to be this intense in the middle. I want it to be pretty uniform until you get to about here and then start to fade out. I don't want it to be a big like blob of white on the screen that's just a bit intrusive and detracts from the overall gameplay experience. What's this?
Hi.
Hello. Sure, generative AI. Awesome. Cool. I don't want this, though. New. Alright, we need... let's go pixels. I will make this, I don't know, 512? Is 512 the power of 2 that's related to 500? 512. It's 1024. Yeah, it would be 512. I never remember my powers of 2 offhand. Pixels per inch, 300. We want this to be a transparent background, and yeah, grass shader. No, so this is going to be just literally, this is going to be a blob, a literal blob. What we're going to do is we're just going to make a new layer here. We're going to call this temp background, just so we can see what we're doing. Is it G to fill? Is G the... No. I want paint bug. It was G. It's lying to me. Particle. Essentially what we're doing is we're just making a little particle that is going to act as the shade around the player. So when we kind of run around here, you'll be able to see what I mean. So you've got this kind of shader around us. Use the controller. That follows us. That just sets us apart from the background ever so slightly. Currently, I'm just using one that I use for the enemy damage. So you'll see it's very, very subtle, but when you damage the enemy, there's like this glow that comes off from them. Basically just as a kind of like, you have been hit, be warned. But one of the things we worked on yesterday was a bit of visual clarity of the player itself. Because if I turn this off, you'll be able to see that it's not so much of an issue for some people, but one of the main pieces of feedback I got, especially when you're not kind of in the light, is it can be kind of hard to see where the player is at, kind of on the screen at any given time. Mostly in this zone, to be fair, because, I mean, her cloak is white, her cloak is yellow, and especially in the kind of the dusk time setting, it's a little bit harder to see her with all the greens and the yellows in the background and such. So we're basically just setting up so there's a bit of visual clarity. Now, yesterday we brainstormed a few different possible ideas, one of which was the following. And I'll just jump over into a different scene just so you can get a clearer picture. I'll jump into the scene 1 just for consistency's sake, which is over here. And I actually want the player to start at the checkpoint. There we go. There's the Spotify advert. I'll just mute that while we're on it. Yeah, I love the fact this is all copyright-free music, but yeah, the adverts are not it. How much is Spotify Premium? Out of curiosity, if I wanted to, £10, but I can try a month for free. Let's view a premium plan. What is it? Premium student, 2 months free. Sad times that I'm no longer a student. How depressing is that? Damn. I can't get a month free though. Might look into it, especially if I'm going to be doing 2 longer streams this week. So it's going to be 12 hours, 12 entire hours of music that I'll need for the background. So it might actually be worth just going for that free trial to give it a go. We'll have to see though. We'll have to see. But what are we doing? Yeah, so there were a couple of options that we came up for with for actually making the player stand out a little bit. The first of which was this background. You can see we've got the day-night cycle transitioning just so we can compare between the different time periods. I love the autumn, man. It just feels so good. Autumn and daytime just feel unique enough. Like, I really like it. Night's a bit spoopy though. Night is a bit spoopy. But this was one of them, having that very faint outline around the player, just so you can kind of see where they are. It just adds a little bit of emphasis. Okay. Option number two was the following. This is a shader and it was called Outline, if I remember correctly. Outline playerlet. This. Naturally, it wouldn't be green. We would set it to something like a white color, as such. Potentially even just add a bit of transparency to it. I don't know if I can set some transparency to it, actually. Guess not. I guess not. Oh well. But this was option number 2. So it followed the player, and it adds that transparency there. Which is cool. It's a cool effect. But I don't think it's suitable for, like, everything. You know? It feels like you're really disconnected from the character if you have this setting on. But the general consensus that we all came to as a community was this would probably be a good option as an accessibility feature. So having it in the game as a tickable option for those who maybe are struggling a little bit and don't mind the fact it kind of takes you out of the world ever so slightly. So it's a good feature to have. I just don't think it's the right one for kind of solving the solution firsthand. That makes sense. So what we're going to do is going to make a brush. There's got to be a keybind for making this bigger, right? Size, is there like a keybind? No. Oh, I need it much bigger than that. Okay, that's way too big. We can probably set this to like 500. Maybe a little bit bigger. Can we go 550? That seems about right. Okay, and then we're going to go into white. Something like that. Okay, we do want this to be a bit smaller though. We do actually want this to be a bit smaller. Maybe 400. I didn't realize it would go outside the margins. And then actually what we want to do is just delete what we already made there. Because apparently, yeah, you can see we already had the black splodge in there, which we don't want. Don't want that. Go back onto the brush, into the middle. We just place that little particle. I think it's a bit too intense in the middle. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come along and just lower the opacity to maybe like 60%. Now if I drop that, I think that's more in the region of what I'm looking for. It fades out nicely in the center, but it's not too obnoxious in the middle. And then what we're going to do, and this is exactly why we set the black background. We can see what it is. We're going to unselect the background, and we're going to export that. Export as PNG, because it has to be a PNG so that we can actually see the background. Me casually showing off some of my old game, Cryptic Creatures. I didn't even realize this was saved in my OneDrive. I'm going to have to go and have a look at this later. See what I've actually got in there. Crazy. Crazy stuff. Yeah, this was an old card game that one of my friends and I were building together. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. We'll come in, assets. No, it's in Amber's Tale. No, it's not even in my D drive, it's in my C drive. Amber's Tale. Assets. Where do I want to put this? Art. Sprites. And let's just create a new folder and we'll call this brushes or something like that. Circle, particle, brush. There we go. All right, so now when we come back into this, we should be able to go into the player, into the lights, damage glow, and we're just going to change this to be circle, particle, glow, which isn't there. Amazing. Where do we save it? We saved it in art. Has it just not properly saved or something? Is there something else I have to do? No, I don't know. Art. I created it in sprites. Called it brushes. Circle particle brush. Can we just drag and drop that on? There we go. Yeah, it's massive. That's fine. So that just... Oh, it's because it's set to 15 by 15. Set that to 1 by 1. And what we can do is we can actually increase the opacity slightly, like that. This could probably do with being like maybe not 3. 2 probably works, and with it being 2, the center's a bit more obvious. So let's just up that opacity. We'll just make it around 100, just for my OCD's sake. Let's play this. Let's see what this looks like. Because this, I think, will look a lot cleaner, which will be nice. Very, very nice. I really need to organize the project files for this game, like really badly. It's not good. Okay, it's less obvious that it's there, which is exactly what we wanted. We need this to be a subtle effect, but it does help with the visual clarity. It's like a little glow around the player almost, which you can see. It's very, very subtle, but it is there. It's especially like obvious in the nighttime. What we'll do is we'll jump into the caves, because that's where it's going to be most obvious. I need to change this as well. I've got it set so you come out the wrong side there. We go into the caves. There we go. Now that is more in line with what we're looking for. 100%. That's exactly what we're looking for. Perfect. Okay. Now, one thing we need to look at is I'm just realizing now that those caves are way too dark. So we'll come back over. We should have a separate light for the caves. So it'll be in setup, lights, cave, midground. There we are. Now we can make this a bit brighter. We still want that kind of blue hue, but I think we need to up the intensity to maybe 0.7. And let's see how that looks, just because we're not getting enough light on the actual player. When we're in the... Oh yeah, of course, I need to adjust it to the player. I need to update the prefab. In the dark areas, we can see the player a little better, and then obviously when we get to the torches, we add those yellow hues. But we want to be able to at least still see the player. Awesome stuff. Honestly, I don't like the hit sound effects. I don't have any hit sound effects. There are none. I haven't added any. Getting hit. Oh, not hitting. Ah, fair. Yeah, it's all... That was a temporary thing. It's not a permanent thing. It was more just... At one point, I was making a... I was making a video for YouTube about kind of hit feedback and that kind of stuff. And sound effects was one of them. And I just needed something to go there. But all the sound effects at some point or other are going to be made by the Millen Brothers, because I am not good at that kind of stuff. Exhibit this. So yeah, don't worry about that, because that's going to be changed. All sound effects are going to be properly done by people who know what the hell they're doing. I'm just filling in the gaps at the moment with just things to round it out a little bit more. I need to come into the setup, and I just need to add the overrides on the player, just so we've got that shadow set in place. So now, when we come into scene 2, we should be good. Can you make it glow only active when the player enters a cave? So the glow is actually slightly different now. That's why I've just done the override, because I applied it in the other screen. We just created right now an effect here in Photoshop, just so we can actually have it done. So it's a lot more subtle now, like such. So it's not as in your face, and it's yeah, I think this is a lot better. We probably could do with potentially, yeah, as you say, in case, making it a bit duller. Or even changing the color ever so slightly to maybe be more of a blue. But the main purpose of this is the fact that you need to be able to see where the character is. So I think this isn't too bad of an option. But what does need to happen is the background here. The background colors of the background needs to be updated, because it does not look as good. Were you scared when Unity made new rules? I wasn't necessarily scared about the changes themselves, because to be fair, it's extremely unlikely that it would have affected me. What scared me was the manner in which they did it. I actually posted a statement about it at the time. It was the backhandedness of it. It was the fact it was going to be retroactive, all that kind of stuff. And I understand that they wouldn't have charged retroactively, which was a bit of a common misconception a lot of people had. But it was the fact that like retroactively, they were going to calculate your revenue, and it would be such that, like, if you had already reached their new threshold that they'd set, you would start to be charged. Whereas most people were under the assumption that they were going to be charging you back data prices, which wasn't going to be the case. But it was, yeah, it was the manner in which they did it. I really didn't appreciate that. But the new CEO seems to be a lot more genuine as a person. They're making a good start in trying to be as open and transparent as possible, just from the little we've seen them on stage, which is definitely a big improvement. Obviously, with them rolling back the changes, it was a big sigh of relief. But again, like, even now with the changes, I used Unity 2022 anyway up here. Unless there are some big changes that will fundamentally affect, like, specific projects that I'm making, I'm not going to be updating. So the new effects the new changes aren't going to affect me anyway. And even if I did upgrade to the new version of Unity, like, I'd have to be earning in excess of £1 million in revenue before I get affected. And if I'm earning in excess of £1 million in revenue, I don't really mind paying a bit of a charge for the engine that has got me there, you know? So I think it was a necessary change that they needed to do. Like, I fully understand them charging. I'm fine with that. It was the way they did it. That's what peeved me off. That was not very nice. But yeah, that was my stance on it. Let's update these lights for the background. So right now we've got this kind of blue going on. I think we do want it a bit more natural. So we still have that kind of blue hue, but not as potent. And then the background light is this one. We need this to be a bit brighter, as such, like that. Oh, what's going on here? What's going on with this? Do we not have stuff there? Oh, we've got some other sprites overlaying it. Have they just not got... Why are they like that? Why are they looking so weird? These are on background close. Background close. Is it just the color of them? Is it because they're like gray? Is that what's going on? That's so strange. Like if I bring them up here, they're fine, but down here, they're really, really dark. Why? Because this is the one that deals with midground back, midground front. Background close. Is this shape just not showing it? This is the light that should be illuminating them. Background close. Background close. That's right. Why is this so? Or is this just a rendering issue? Oh, I'm very confused. I mean, I could set that to be white like that. But it's still showing us... Oh, but now it's updated. I think it might just be a rendering issue. Let's just play and see if that fixes. It might just be an issue with the actual editor. Let's go have a look. Oh no, they look really orange. Well, that doesn't look normal. Yeah, they need to look like they do up here. Like that one up there on the top, up here. They need to look more like that. Because they are in the background, but like not this orange color that's going on. That just looks weird. Let me see what's different between that. So we've got this one. Gray, background close, 0. And then these here are like white, background close, 0, background close. Why are they different? Is it because this light is affecting them? Lights. Midground, background close. Ah, it's because this light is affecting them. Ooh, maybe I want to disable that. What layer are these on? These are on background close as well. So we've got the blur on them.
Hey, hotels.com here.
It might be worth just adjusting the light on these. Just to be more white, but we'll add a slight tint, but not a massive amount. And we'll turn off the volumetrics on that. We're doing alpha blend, and we're just targeting... We're not targeting bloom on them. Okay, if we override these prefabs now, it's affecting all of them like that. Oh, that's so strange. Okay, let's jump in and we'll just see what's going on. Game dev, everybody. Trial and error. Why isn't this working? Try again. Let's jump in. Yeah, I really don't like how it's making those rocks in the background really dark. But it's not affecting that one up there. And I have no clue why. Why is it not affecting that one? Not affecting these whatsoever. Dark, background close. But this light still has the background effect on it. If we turn that off... Why is it... Why? I mean, this is fine. Having this affect the default mid-ground back, I think is fine. And mid-ground front. So that's going to affect all these things and the player, which is fine. And then the background one, spotlight, all that kind of jazz. It's on multiplayer, alpha blend, background close only. That's on the background close layer. No, I'm just going to disable this whole background light and we'll see what kind of effect it has. Let's have a gander. See if that looks any better. It looks more part of the environment again, which is a good thing. I feel like we need some little particles or something in the caves. We need some ambience. Just so it looks a bit more normal, I guess. Because we don't have much movement. Like, we've got the parallax kind of happening. You can see, especially on the bottom here, the like vertical parallax that we've got going. So you can see that they are kind of set aside, but I think they need bringing forward a little bit. So is that the cave rocks? Okay, these are the front ones that outline that area there. So it'll be in background. So these rocks, yeah, these are the ones that we need moving. So the Z offset, we're actually set this to be 1. I can't remember if that's in the +1. Yeah, okay, so reset children, so they're all flush now. And now we'll distribute them. So they're distributed a little bit less. Let's see if that makes it look more part of the background environment. And then, of course, we've got... Pardon me. Then we've got the background far selection, which have the big boulders, which are set at various intervals between kind of -1.5 and -3. Okay. Let's have a gander at this, see if this looks any better. I think it should be fine. Yeah, these look a lot more... They look like they're a lot closer to the player, generally, which is what we wanted. We've still got the additional light coming from these. It's not affecting the background as much. We've still got that kind of darkness to it, which is fine. Is there a way you can make this area look darker without necessarily affecting the visibility of the player? Because I don't like how when we're kind of like here, for example, the player is just in like complete darkness. I want to be able to have a bit more visual clarity than that. What we'll do, we'll just, while we're in play mode, just so it's not going to save, we'll just tweak the tweak the values of various things. So the background, I think, does still need to be a little bit darker, like such. Oh, is this background close? Okay, this is the background close. So that could do with being a little bit darker, but still visible. Okay, so we can lower the opacity of that one. The background of this one definitely needs to be darker, because you don't want to be able to see everything in the cave. It should be pretty rigid in that regard. So the mid cave, the mid ground stuff should be a bit brighter, like this. Brighter, but have more of a blue feel to it, like this. So it feels quite cold in there. Or even kind of leaning into the dark blues, purples when it's mixed in with the light like this. This is quite atmospheric now. So I feel this is more what I'm looking for with the caves. Like, you can see the stuff in the background, but there are pockets of just darkness scattered throughout the middle. I really like that. Okay, so let's cancel that, and we'll just readjust that. So we wanted this more in the blue, and then it was more down here, wasn't it? Like so. The background caves was, we made that ever so that was around 100, wasn't it? Yeah. And the background far, we made that much darker as well. We'll add more blues onto that. We'll add more blues. Good morning, Kirby. Good morning. You're up so early. Yeah, we're going for a longer stream today, because we got affiliate. I mean, we don't officially have affiliate yet. It's not. It takes a while to update, but we've officially hit all the criteria for it. So the next stream, which we'll be doing on Saturday, which again will be a bit of a longer stream. It'll be a 6-hour stream on Saturday. That one, we will have all the perks of affiliation with Twitch. Chef's kiss. And my missus is at work today. So I was like, you know what? It's my last day off work myself, because I go back to work tomorrow morning. So I'll be up at 5 o'clock, which I'm not looking forward to going back to doing. But with that being the case, I thought, may as well make the most of kind of being on my own, home alone today. Let's do a longer stream. Let's go for it. All right, I thought this needed to be a little bit darker. Press. There we go. Mid-ground cave. Did we up the opacity? Oh, yeah, we just upgraded the opacity and we made it a bit brighter like this, didn't we? There we go. A little tip for anyone as well, if you're using Unity. Say you make some adjustments and you're in play mode. One little thing you can do is you can only do this for like one thing at a time. But like for example, I've just adjusted some of the settings on this Light 2D. You can copy component, exit out play mode, and then paste component values. And there we go. The settings we had in play mode are now implemented again. But then one thing I did want to do is I want to make the background close ever so slightly more visible as well. So maybe like 140. And well, congrats, thank you very much. Yeah, we hit it in 1 week, 1 whole week. The support has been absolutely redonkulous. Yeah, it's been great. Massive shout out to Diane for getting me like 90% of the way there. All right, this I'm happier with. This I'm definitely happier with. Bit brighter. We've got the new player outline sprite going on, which of course we set up in Photoshop earlier today. This one right here. Little outline. So got a little fly, like flying around my microphone. Not fun. Not very cash money. So we've got that going now, which is nice. I feel like this, now I'm looking at it, this does feel a little bit too bright. I don't know. Maybe I will set this to 100. Maybe I will set this to 100, but then we'll re-implement the lighting. We'll re-implement the lighting from the torches, and we'll see what that looks like. So we'll go into play mode again, because we just want to test this. We don't want to lose our existing settings. And we'll see what happens. So if we go in. Okay. And now we need to find one of the torches. Can I just click on it? No. Torch. Which one is this referring to? The one next to us. Amazing. So we can come in, toggle on the lighting again. And this is just affecting the background close. So it's going to affect these rocks in the background and these pillars. That's all it's affecting. This one. Not affecting much at all. And then we'll adjust. Tiny little fly. I hate them. And this, if we up the intensity, we should be able to see the effect it has. Why is it having 0 effect? Oh, it's not targeting anything, that's why. Background close, there we go. Alright, well, we need to lower that down. And it definitely doesn't need to be that dark. So you can see the effect it's having just on those items there. Am I definitely working on this? Oh no, now I'm working on it. I was looking at this one thinking, I swear to God, it looks more like this one's glowing. Alright, so we're looking at this and the effect this one's having on the environments around it. I reckon no, additive is not the go. Multiplicative. Additive like that. Yeah, we don't want the alpha blend. We want the additive here. So now this is just adding to the existing color. Which is already, by baseline, it looks like this. We just want to add a slight hue to that. Oh, thank you for the follow, Nufshi. Hello. How are things going? Where have you come from? You just discovered me on Twitch, or did one of my advertisements in a Discord server work? Did one of them pay off? We want this to be more of a kind of reddish hue coming from these lamps. And let's make that kind of like so. There we go. We want a little bit of light. Want to show that it is there. Is it worth maybe adding the flicker onto this? We've got a flicker script. Would it be worth adding this on? With the min intensity being 0.1, let's say, and the max intensity just being this like 0.33. So maybe probably get away with 0.5. Is flickering. Oh, it's a bit much, isn't it? Flicker rate. I mean, that's still a bit too much. So if we set this to 0.5, that's a bit too little. 2.5. I mean, that looks a bit janky. So maybe 0.2. I think the difference in light potential is a bit too much there as well. So let's set this to 0.35. Lower it down. That looks a bit more subtle. Now that I'm happy with. So what am I able to go into the torch? Okay, I can't. All right. What settings have I messed with? I only messed with this, so I need the flicker settings at 0.1, 0.35, 0.2, and is flickering. And then I'll just save these ones. Copy component. I really need to get a paste component values. We're going to add flickering. It was 0.1, 0.35, 0.2, and then is flickering. Then we're going to go into the main thing for the prefab. We're going to apply all, so it applies to all the different prefabs. We're good to go, and I can read chat again. I came through the link from Cupflow Studios, actually. Oh, epic! Welcome, welcome. Do you work with Cupflow directly? Are you one of the members, or what else? Are you just a fan? Why the GPS freaking out so much? The FPS. This right here, I should really, I'm just gonna turn it off. The FPS, first of all, is not that bad, right? It looks that bad because I'm running Photoshop, I'm running OBS, I'm streaming to multiple platforms. It's using a hell of a lot of my GPU and CPU, while also doing game dev, right? And my computer isn't the beefiest of boys. So the FPS is much better. It's more there as an indicator for when I'm kind of just doing testing of different systems, to seeing if there's a drastic decrease in performance if I'm doing certain things. But we can disable that for now. It's just one of my canvases. And it's just because it's fluctuating quite a bit, because there are certain things that are running every other second and things like that. But yeah, it's more just there as a way to test rather than having the stats page up. Just 'cause I'm not a massive fan of this, just like blocking this whole quadrant of the screen. So yeah. All right, and I think the caves are looking much more cave-like now. Much more cave-like. Don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot more things that we need to update and amend and work through, but for a start, I think this is pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Now, the most important part of making anything look pretty. Particles. Need to get some particles in the cave. Get a bit of ambience going. So what kind of particles are there going to be in caves? Oh, thank you very much for the follow. Morpheus86. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Amber's Tale. Or action, Metroidvania. Yeah, just working on a bit of level design at the moment. Nothing too fancy. We're gonna be plotting the actual levels soon. So at the moment we've only got a little bit. But right now we've got these two tiny little areas, and I've mapped this part of this one. That's all we've got at the moment. But we're gonna start mapping out these areas here. Unity's particle system, exactly. The Unity particle system's epic, but it's also, it takes forever to do anything in it. It's ridiculous. Lower that down. There we go. Get rid of those bits. Happy days. I'll save that. But yeah, later on in the stream, we're gonna be working our way through and just setting up a few bits and bobs here. It's gonna be great stuff. Great stuff. And at some point, I really need to make a tutorial. I need to make everyone. I've had so many people asking me for a tutorial on like my workflow for creating a level. So what I might just do is I might just do like a dedicated stream just for like prettyifying the levels, just so people can see kind of what I do for that. But what we need to do first is, of course, set up some particles. So we're going to go to the background, foreground, and it's under objects. I think I should put them. It's not interactable. It is particles. There we go. Now, I've already got some particle systems in place here. Right? Looking at these little particles that wander around. These could work in the cave. They could. But I don't think the orange works. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to copy that. I'll paste it. I'll come along and say these are for the caves. All right, now we're going to come in. In fact, what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to make this I'm going to unpack this. Just so we can have a separate, we can make a separate particle system for the caves. So we'll move it over. And of course we need to just adjust the shape just so it's only within the bounds of the cave, which is this tiny little speck right here. So I'll bring this over and we'll just restart it so we can see more in line what's going to look like. Right, we don't need particles spawning up here. And just having a little bit cut off the bottom isn't the worst thing in the world, but we'll shift it down anyway and do another quick little restart. Awesome. So we've got some particles going around. Now I think I want these to be a little bit smaller, more like specks of dust, little specks of dust like in a mine rather than actual fireflies. And then we'll add actual fireflies around the little the lights, which I think will look a lot nicer. Now for the picture on these, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to change it from the fireflies pixelated to the new circle one that we've just created. Why? Oh yeah, that's a spray. I need to convert that into a material, don't I? Is it material? Yeah. Okay. So, oh, we've got another person following. Thank you very much, Afuda-san. Thank you for following. Welcome to the stream and welcome to Amber's Tale. Welcome, welcome. How are things? What's going on? So let's have a gander. How do I make this into a material? So first I need to put it in a materials folder just so everything's organized. New material, and we'll call this default particle. Just because I can. And then we'll drop that. Ooh, can I not just... Do I have to drop the particle onto this? Diffuse mass? No, I'm pretty sure it's just this, right? I think. So now if I come to the fireflies, I should be able to drop this default particle onto the render material. Like that. Does that work? Yes, there we go. We've got the particle. I do remember things. Look at that. Look at that. I think I want them to more kind of move upwards in a way. Have them kind of being like floating up. Kind of like that mist. Like, oh, Spotify adverts. Let's turn that down a little bit. Just while the adverts playing. Because we don't like to advertise stuff that, you know, it's just from thingy. Especially on YouTube. I feel like I'd probably get like, I feel like I'd unironically get like demonetized just for playing like an advert. Even though it's like, it's just a Spotify advert. I'm not going to take those risks. I might do once I take a little lunch break. Just subscribe to my my free month of Spotify just so I can get the ad-free version for the next couple streams. But in the meantime, let's update this. So, color by lifetime, I think that's fine as it is. Velocity over lifetime. Speed modifier, I want these to only really move up. So I think that's fine. Noise, we want to get rid of that. There we go. And now I've got all this stuff moving upwards. It's not moving around. So it's less of a living organism. And it feels more like just like smoke. Like kind of like dust particles kind of floating up. In theory. We'll test that. Maybe get them going a little bit faster. Like that. Alright, let's have a look to see what this looks like. Before we make any more changes, let's just jump into the game. And we'll see how it feels. Go full screen for you as well. Let's see how this looks. So we got these little particles going. And they're just going up like so. Alright, well, first things first, we need some variety in the speed at which they travel. That's what we need, because this just looks weird. That looks weird. So let's get a bit of variety in place. So the sun lifetime's changing. The starting speed should be a random between two constants. Set that between 1 and 10. Let's jump in and see what that looks like. I feel like these are going to move a little bit too quickly as well still. I feel like this is going to be a little bit too quick. Let's go in. They're all still moving at the same speed. More or less. Alright, it might just be that we need to update the velocity over time. Over lifetime, even. Alright, so let's set this to be random between two constants. We'll set that to 0.2 and 0.6. Now, this should definitely change the things a little bit. This should definitely spice things up ever so slightly. Oh, you can see them. Can I see them in the corner there? No. That's the separate ones. Cool. Now if we come in here. They still all look like they're moving at the same rate. Why? Why? Set that a constant. Let's go into the scene. Can we just like stop and play that? Okay, pre-warm, it's looping. Does it start awake? I mean, that's technically what this is, isn't it? Play on awake. Fair enough. Things are not moving. 2.6. Okay, so we needed some drastic difference in numbers. So we need anything from 0.2 to... I think that's too fast. Let's try 1.6. Okay, I think that's fine. And maybe we will add a slight amount of noise. Like that. Maybe just even a little bit less than this. Like so. Or less on the y-axis and maybe more on the x. So they'll just kind of float left and right. Just a little bit. But only left and right. They shouldn't... I don't want them moving much in the z-axis. I think that's actually a little bit too much. And if we set this to 0.1... It's very, very subtle. It's very, very subtle, but it's there. Yeah, I feel like that is more in line of what we want. There we are. I quite like that. I quite like that. Don't like the fact that some of them are disappearing. I want them to get a bit smaller before they disappear. They're sticking together and you gotta respect that. Exactly. Sticking together through thick and thin. Size over lifetime. They're getting bigger. I want them to have a bit more of a U shape though. So we'll bring this down. And we'll just kind of bring that up. And we want the peak to be at about 0.3. That needs to come down slightly. Like so. We'll make it a bit of a U shape. And then we can just adjust this to be like 0.4. Just to update things a little bit. So now, okay, they're too big now. They're a little bit too big. So, set that to a maximum of 0.2. Because I want them to be quite fine particles. I don't want them to be massive. We should be able to put some music back on as well. There we go. How is the music volume-wise, by the way? Can you actually hear it? Because it's good in my ears, but I don't know what it's like on stream. Alright, I think that is much nicer. Much, much nicer. Now, probably what I'll do is I'll just adjust the opacity ever so slightly. Just so they're all a little bit more faded. Just subtle. They're not like in your face, but they're there. You know? The music stopped playing. Can you not hear it at all? Because I did stop it briefly. But can you hear it now? It should be alright. Once it's updated. Good old lo-fi going on. I love it. Alright, so now we've made those adjustments. Let's copy this component. Come out of play mode and we'll paste all those changes that we made. And we can jump back in. Happy days. Welcome to everyone who's just joining over on the YouTube. I can see we've got about 9 people watching now. Crazy stuff. Yeah, just working on a bit of Amber's tile stuff today. Just a few little quality of life changes in the caves, just because I wasn't overly happy with everything. So I've got a few particles going on. Just some little dust kind of effects. We'll get ambient sounds and all that kind of stuff. We've got the little glow around the player now as well, making it a bit easier to see. And you know what I'm going to do, actually? Just because it's going to annoy me. It's going to annoy me. We're going to adjust the animation on the player when they do the ledge climb. When they do the ledge climb? Ledge climb. Ledge climb here. And the other thing we're going to be adjusting is this damage glow position. So, let's get on the player. We're going to animate. We can see here. So we want to be moving this. No, I don't want to be animating any. I don't want an animation on this at all. Player, idle. Ledge grab. Okay, let's move this over. And how can I want to adjust the position of this depending on the thing. Do I need to just lock this somehow on the player? So if I go on to, where is it again? Ledge climb. If I lock this and then I switch over, no, it still moves. Why? Bruh. I want to adjust the position of this, so we're going to have to put it in directly on the animator. So if I add property, core light, damage glow, transform, position. So I want to be updating this. Okay, so if I do that. 10 people on YouTube now. Blimey. Deanna Vibes. Ah, hello. How's work going? How's work going? Deanna Vibes is my partner. She's at work. Bless her. Checking in on the stream. Presuming it's not too busy for you. Is the music playing, by the way? Let me just pull it up on my phone so I can have a little listen myself. Get the live stream going. Oh yeah, it's playing. Happy days. Good stuff. Also, we're completely, well and truly, the stream hasn't broken at all. It's okay. Nice to hear you and see your face. Oh, isn't she a cutie patootie? Listen to that. That's why I love her. That's why I love her. Checking in on me, making sure I'm alright while she's at work. Should be me doing that for her, but that just goes to show the kind of character she is. A lovely son of a gun. A lovely son of a gun. Alright. So I want to be... Okay, I can adjust this here. Alright, so that's what I'll do. So, where is this positioned at the beginning? So when we're in idle... I think I want this to be... Even at the beginning here, this should be more in the center of her. So let's just jump into the idle real quick. Idle. We can see the center is kind of where her neck is. So we want the center of this. Okay, no, it's in the middle of her chest here. So we need to make sure that this is always round about the middle of her chest throughout the course of the mantle ledge grab animation. So let's see it. The middle of her chest would be about here. So let's just adjust that. So bring it up ever so slightly. And across. Then we're going to move here. And it'll need to go up ever so slightly. Up again. So we'll need to go up and across a little bit more. I'm just kind of guesstimating where the cross would be between these little bits. Up there again. So it needs to go up and across. And then here, it should be more or less the same position, to be honest. So it'll be these three. We'll copy them, paste them here. All right. So as she climbs, the light moves with her now. Good. That looks good. That looks good. Let's see how that looks in game now. Let's have a gander. Have a gander. See what's going on. So when we do a mantle, there we go. The light follows her rather than just being a snap at the end. Beautiful stuff. That's just what we want. Just what we want. Happy days. Okay. Also, I've just realized I might not have done something very, very important on the old YouTube channel. Did I set it so we've got a thumbnail? We do. Happy days. Happy days. Oh, look at this. Yeah, we do have 10 views right now. Hello to everyone on our YouTube. Get some little hearts going for you. I'll spam some hearts. Thank you all for coming along. I appreciate it all. Thank you for coming. So yeah. That's what we've done. That's ticked off the box. A little quality of life change done there. Done. A little quality of life change getting the particles and the lighting sorted in the cave. Done. We've got the background helping with the visibility of the player. Check. Let's come in here. We've got those little particles. This definitely feels like more of a cave now. Naturally, once we get all the music and sound effects in at this point, that's where the real changes are going to come into fruition. That's going to make the big difference. But for now, things are going really, really well. That looks quite nice. I like it. I like it. All right, now, what is the next stage? In fact, pardon me. There is one thing I know that I do need to adjust, because when we come into this, up at the top, did I make the adjustment? Oh, I did. I've already done it. Never mind. Never mind. Previously, when you would be jumping around here, the what's it called? The background wouldn't fill the whole space there, but it looks like I did expand it. Happy days. All right. I think now it's actually time to get into a bit of level design. I think we're pretty golden. We're kind of set, which I'm all about. All right. No, in fact, one last thing. There was the issue with... Oh, actually, yeah, let me make this into a prefab as well for the caves. Caves, sprites. I want the prefabs folder. Level. Particles. And we'll call this Firefly Caves. There we go. And we'll just drop that in there. Happy days. So we can access these wherever we want now. Lovely. The only other thing was with the portals. There was the issue with this. So this portal, we can unlock this again now. Spawn to portal 1 in scene 1, portal 1. And this current position is portal 1. This one is portal 2. And it will spawn to portal 1 in zone 3. Awesome. We need to go to scene 1. So we'll save all those changes. Lovely. And the particle, or the portal here is spawning to scene 2, portal 1, which was the top one, right? If I change this to portal 2, let's see if this makes a difference. I'll have to run across. I probably should have just moved the player, but nah, well, here's what it is. So I'll just run across this real quick. I say real quick and then proceed to be really slow. It's fine. There we go. This should take us to the bottom one, right? Yes. Perfect. Why, though? If I open up this additively, level, object, portals, we'll just enable gizmos. So we've got this portal again. This is currently portal... Current scene, this is portal 1. And this current scene is portal position 2. But this one should be spawning me at portal position 2. But it's not. It's spawning me at portal position 1. Why? Current portal position 2. And this one is sending me to zone 2, portal position 2. Why? Let me bring the player over. I shouldn't have pressed play. That's just going to crash now. Amazing stuff. Let's just hide this. Unload scene. Let me see if this is just going to randomly take me between the two different spots. Maybe it was just luck of the draw. Maybe it's just luck of the draw. We'll go through. Takes me to the bottom. Yeah, it's just it's randomly deciding. All right, that's not how that should work. Time to do some debugging. My favorite thing to do. It's a lie. I hate debugging. Let's open the script and see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. Alright, so we've got the enum destination scene, so portal spawn 2. Move the player, so that's just the getting the stuff to move. On trigger enter. Player.state machine into the portal state, that's fine. Scene swap. And it should portal to use. Right, I need to load up the scene swap manager. Scene swap manager. Testing screen settings. Scene swap manager. Bro's PC is about to explode. Who? Mine or yours? Why would it explode? Because I've got a bajillion things open? That could do it. Let's see. What have we got? What is this? So on Collider, if it's a player, we want to swap scene from portal to use to the portal to spawn to. So this is the position that we're going to. Scene name, so that's fine. Portal to spawn to. Yeah, so that's 1 or 2. So we need to check this swap scene portal to use. From this one, swap scene portal to use. Okay, so we're bringing in the my scene, which is the scene itself. That's working fine. Portal to spawn at. Yeah. Instance, coroutine, fade, then change scene. So it's loading the scene. Yeah, fine. Oh, did a little drag-a-rooney there. This one. So we're pulling in the portal to spawn at. By base, it's at 0, but we are passing through a value of 1 or 2 in this case. So we're going to do the fade out, which is just going to do the screen fade, so it fades to black. After it's finished fading, the portal to spawn at equals portal to spawn at. What? What have I done here? Get portal to spawn at, return portal to spawn at. This doesn't even get used. This must have a purpose, surely.
The Admiral is out for her morning walk with Alfie.
Good morning, William. Where's your phone?
Let's turn off the music again there, just while the advert's playing. Portal to spawn at. Where else is this used? It's literally just this. Get portal to spawn at. Return portal to spawn at. Load scene. So it'll be on scene load. So it's loading a scene. Okay, we can play the music again now. On scene loaded. We're going to do the fade. And I feel like we should be teleporting the player here. Where else does this get used? Just in the scene swap manager. At the top here. That's swapping from the menu. Fade out, then change scene menu. That's fine. On scene loaded. We're fading in. Are we just not teleporting the player? Is that what we're doing? Have I got a script attached to the spawn point? What is this doing? Oh, that's just a sound effect thing. Is the game going to have any cutscenes? The final game, yeah, I'm planning to have a few. Because I want it to be quite a cinematic experience. It's not something that's in the works at the moment, because making cinematics is expensive. So that'll be something that we're going to look at kind of when we get... when we get funding. But it's something I want. It is definitely something I want. Because there's a pretty cool narrative that goes into this, which is just, yeah, it'll be pretty sick. Pretty sick. Save load manager. Game inputs. We're loading the scene individually. On scene load. So we're fading in. Should we not just be teleporting the player? But at the moment, how does the player know where to get teleported to? It is teleporting to the right spots. Is it on start? Oh, here we go. Player.state machine current state of portal state, yeah. Player position dot transform possession equals spawn point dot position. So we need to get the right spawn points. So I should be adding in here that thing that we didn't use. This. So we're setting spawn portal point. We need to get the position, because that is a transform. It's an enum, but the dot get position kind of thing. So if I do this and do scene swap manager, dot get portal to spawn at is unacceptable due to its protection level. Public. That'll return this. So we save this. Get portal to spawn. Now what's it saying? An object is required for the non-static method. Why? Portal spawner equals portal spawner. Okay, fair enough. We'll do that. Are you happy now? No. What does this actually... portal spawner enum 1 2 3 4. I love programming. It's been this is the issue with working on stuff that you haven't looked at in ages. Hand-drawn, animated, or pixel animated. I mean, I think ideally I'd want it to be kind of hand-drawn animated. I don't think I'd want it to be pixelated. I'd want you to... The cutscenes would be a way for you to connect with the characters in a more intimate way. Compared to like seeing the characters like this, it would be using the sprites similar to the ones that you'll have when you actually engage with the NPCs. That'll show different expressions and that kind of stuff. So it'll be more along the lines of this kind of aesthetic, animated like this. I think that would be I think that's the right call. I think you're able to engage with it a bit more, or engage with the character personally a little bit more, if that was the case, you know. All right, I'm just gonna have to pull up the tutorial I was watching when I set up this this system. Savaganda. A little LazyTeaStudios video is what it was. And let's scroll down to the tutorial aspect of it. Where is it? How do this happen? Let's go scrolling. Gamepad, time base on this, yeah. Scenes loading. Where is it? Doors and persistence.
The first metroidvania.
Alright, let's skip to kind of this area where we're setting up the bits that we need. Setting up the scene swap. Object persistence, we've already got that set up. Spawning the player to the door in the new scene when it's loaded. There we go, that's what we need. Alright, let's load this up. Portal scene changing. And this is in the scene swap manager. Ah. So funny story, right? Really funny story. Turns out I didn't finish the whole tutorial. That's why it's not working. Alright, so let's follow this along. So we need a private void find door. We're going to be passing in door trigger interaction dot door or portal to spawn at. What is it? Door interaction. Did I just not have that? Did I not set this up? Let me just go back real quick. Go to the top here, and this is in the scene swap manager. That's fine. Player. So we need reference to the player collider, and the door collider, and then a private portal scene changing, door trigger interaction. Well, that's a separate script entirely. Is that just how they've done door to spawner? Okay, I don't think I need that. So I've got this scene changing portal spawner. That's what I needed. Alright, so it'll be portal scene. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, it'll be this. There we go, portal to spawner. Close that down. Okay. And then we're going to do a portal door changing interaction. We want an array of everything. We're going to call it portals equals find objects of type. Objects of type. Find objects of type. On scene changing. Scene changing. Find objects of type. Scene changing. Perfect. So that's going to get an array of all the different portals in the scene. So this one, which is portal scene changing. Yeah. We're going to do for int I equals 0. I is portals.length I++. Cool. And then door collider, just get component collider. Calculate spawn position. So we basically just want to add the spawn position here for the player. Okay. I found this game because I was looking for games in the style of Sonic Mania. Really? I forgot what does Sonic Mania look like? Sonic Mania. I forgot what that looks like. Oh yeah, way back. Oh Jesus, that takes me back. That takes me right back. Jesus, one of the old school ones. Blimey. Yeah, pixel art is just like such a good, especially for indie developers, pixel art is just such a good thing to go for, just because of how, like, not that it's easy, but it's a lot easier to kind of make a concise looking game or feature. It's a lot harder to, if you're doing 3D modeling or any of that kind of stuff, to get things that look really consistent together. Whereas pixel art, you can, as long as you stick to 16 by 16, you've got a basic kind of understanding of color theory, you can kind of get away with it, which is why it's like a fan favorite to go for. Which is pretty sick. Pretty sick. So for I, an I equals thingy, we want to get the position of I want to find the position of the spawn point for the relative thing that we're looking for, right? Current portal position. Yeah. Okay, let's just see what the tutorial says. Calculate spawn position. Okay. Let's go in here. We'll do calculate spawn position. We'll put this into a separate one. Private void calculate spawn position. What does it say? So the position I'm spawning to is... No, I don't want this, actually. Equals portals.length. If... Turn I equals this, yeah, so... I think I want to do an if statement to compare if this is the same as whichever one we've got here. So yeah, so if... Portals to spawner equals portals or equals I dot, yeah, because it's I, which is less than portals dot length. Oh no, it'll be portals I dot port to spawn at current portal position, right? So the current portal position, so portal spawn, this is the one for this and the one it's going to, so the current one, yeah, if that equals, if that portal spawner is equal to the any that are in the new scene current one, then we're going to set the, we're going to Dan3, hello. I really like your streams. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, trying to go for more of the chill vibes. So, yeah, sorry. I'm like hyper focusing, trying to figure out this stuff right now. That's the issue with programming with me. Like, I just need to just kind of suss it all out. And Boxana, but I'll just call you Box. What's up? I'm struggling to program. It's like it's a recurring theme. It's one of my weak points, but we're hopefully we'll figure it out. We're trying to essentially, in essence, what we're doing is we've got the we've got our portals that transition between the two different scenes. I'll load this up again. We've got one portal here, but then we've also got a portal up here. And at the moment, whenever you travel through this portal, it's going to spawn you at random one of these two. We don't want that to be the case. We want to spawn it at the corresponding one. So, yeah, given that, we're trying to figure that out. Box is fine. I'm doing good. What are you making? I'm making a metroidvania. A pixel art metroidvania. I'll give you a little run. I don't think I need to do anything here. This isn't going to cause any issues, I don't think. No. I'll just showcase a little bit of what we've got going on, just so you can have a vibe as to what the game is. We don't have much at the moment. Oh, controllers paused. I'll tell you what I'm going to do I'm just going to adjust the day-night cycle just so it's not completely jarring. 10-second, 10-minute, 10-second transition. Because our Metroidvania as well, there's a few little unique twists. We've got a skill tree system. So you get to choose the order in which you unlock your abilities via the skill tree here. And you can unlock perks for the abilities and different effects and that kind of stuff. But this basically makes it a true non-linear Metroidvania. There will always be multiple places that you can decide where you want to go, depending on the kind of upgrades that you've currently got. So I'll just kind of show you around. We've got some pretty epic abilities, like for example our Slam or Reaper's Gift, in which it's currently nicknamed. Got the dash and then slam down. It feels good. It feels good. And a little roll, you know. Got those iframes with the roll. Ooh, hey, look at that. Terrible sound effects going on. But yeah, this is what we've got. And yeah, I'll show you kind of what we're working on as well. So if we get our little mantle up there, come along. Of course,
Hey,
I wonder if this is going to work or not. I don't know if I got the... Hey, there we do. We got that happening. I need to remind me once I go for my lunch, because I'm going to be taking a little like 10-minute break. Probably around like 12:30, 1 o'clock, just to go make food. Yeah, we've got a little menu. And a fully working save system, of course. Been working on all the background stuff, all the stuff such that it'll work. But as you can see there, we're spawned in at the top. But if we go back, it takes us to a different room completely. Because it spawned us to the wrong portal. It spawned us down here. Whereas if we go down, this down here is where it's actually meant to spawn you. Down here. Because if we go through here, this will take us here. But at the moment, it's a bit of a 50-50. You can see this time it did take us here. But we're trying to set it up so it'll actually take us to the right portal. I'll show you the one other little area that we've got going on. Oh dear, not what we wanted. Along, we've got a little cave system that was set up as well. We did a bit of work on this earlier. A nice little cave environment going on. Happy days. So that's what we're working on. Damn, that looks so sick. Thank you very much. Gives me a bit of Hollow Knight vibes. Looks awesome. I mean, Hollow Knight, it's a Metroidvania. Who isn't going to be inspired by Hollow Knight if you're making one, you know? So they're pretty much, even though they're not, like, Metroid and Castlevania are obviously the founding fathers, but I feel like most people would, I don't think many people would disagree in the fact that Hollow Knight is probably one of the main inspirations for most people within the Metroidvania genre. So yeah, good stuff. As soon as we can get this fixed, which seems to be taking a little while. Let's get the music playing again. You know, gotta have a bit of that lo-fi. Honestly, I'm just not productive if I'm not listening to lo-fi. Released before Silksong. At this rate, potentially. And I'm setting aside like 2 or 3 years for the release of this game, so I mean, let's put it this way. There is a possibility that I could at least release the demo for this before Silksong comes out. Because I'm aiming for a May release for the demo. So there's a very real possibility that the demo for Emma's Tale could come out before Silksong. But man, the moment Silksong comes out, I'm thinking, to be honest, it might actually be worth me live streaming me playing Silksong. I mean, I'm a Metroidvania developer. It kind of works, right? I feel like that would be a suitable thing for me to do on my channel. Just gain a bunch of inspiration and steal their content ideas. Create things that are inspired by their content ideas, I mean, obviously. But no, I think it would be pretty cool. Because I would play Hollow Knight on stream, but I've already beaten the game a couple times, so it's one of those where I'm not like really want to play it again right now or anytime soon. I might do, like, if I was going to play Hollow Knight again, it'll be in a couple years, I reckon. Because one of my favorite parts about Metroidvania is the exploration aspect of it, and I basically know the entire Hollow Knight map like the back of my hand, so I'm like, I'm not really gonna find anything new. I'd do it for the challenge more than anything, I think. I'd do it more for the challenge. But let's see. So if the portal to spawn at is the same as the one that we're finding, portal at current position. Then we want to set the player's position to that. So we're going to return current portal position. Are we going to return this? Is that what we're returning? Seems what manager.door portal returns void. Okay, so now we need to do that? Or do I need to... no. Control C. Is that what I need to do? Find door? No kebab house. I mean, the return issue is fixed. Pass. Private member of the door is unused. So this has to be public. I mean, that fixed that. That fixed one of the issues. Not all code paths return the value. Okay. Else return null. No. Return portal to spawn at dot none. There we go. I've done what you wanted. Can I just get rid of that? Is that what I can do? Now what do you want? Not all code paths. Oh. Turn null. There we go. Not none. But if we do find something, then we do that. I feel like this might work, but this is making me a bit like uneasy. I don't know. Because it's still going to go through everything and eventually it will return null, but it would return this first. And I'm hoping just at that point it's going to be too late for it to change it to this. So let's give this a go. So portal spawner. When we're doing the transform dot position, spawn point dot position. Start transform dot player position to spawn point position. I don't want to be running this line of code because this is running for both of them. I need to basically run this elsewhere. So if I set this to public and public like that, I'm essentially wanting to run this within the find this. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that to avoid again, cancel that, and we're going to do transform player. Well, I could just do player object or whatever. Player dot instant dot transform dot position. Did I just spell that wrong? Player dot instance. Oh yeah, player dot instance transform dot position. Right, we can get rid of this again. Don't think we need that now. It's a void. Fine. Transform dot position equals current this on position dot I equals current position. Okay, no, so it's not current position. I dot spawn point dot position. That should work. Now all I need to do is run this on when the scene loads. Right? What to spawn at? Because this sets get portal to spawn at. So this should work. So this is basically going to cycle at the beginning of the game all the different portals or all the different scripts with that. Compare whether current position matches the same. Is this a singleton? It is. So that's going to be persistent. So that's fine. So on scene load, we're going to fade in. We're going to teleport the player. We're going to find door. And we're going to pass in this. Spawn point equals portal to spawn at. Then we're going to run get portal to spawn at. Paste that in there. So when the scene loads, we're going to run this. Find door. We're going to be passing in this parameter, which is the portal to spawn at that we set when we actually go through here, which we're going to pull. We're going to get the value of portal spawn at. We're going to get that, run it. This should work, I think. Famous last words of every programmer ever. But I think this should work. So this should take me... It's either going to work or it's going to cause a crash. Let's put it that way. So when we pass through here, it should take us to the bottom. Of course it didn't. Of course it didn't. Oh, wait, no. No, that's actually right, because this is set to go to port to number 2, right? Yeah, port to spawn at 2. So it might have worked. I just might have fucked up. All right. This should take us to the bottom now. You have to do it a couple times to know that's not a fluke. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. This is a memorable moment, and I appreciate you all. Hell yeah, it works. It works. Oh my god. So now if we go up here and jump into this one, this should only take us to the top one. Yes. Let's go. First time as well. That never bloody happens, does it? That never happens. Imagine something programmatically working first time round. Damn. Okay. We done figured it out. Can I get rid of this, by the way? I feel like I can get rid of this. The dot. Yeah, just a little bit cleaner then, because we've got it referenced up here anyway. Cool. Sick. That works. Nice. I thought that was going to take a hell of a lot longer to do. Happy days. Happy days. All right. I need to get a drink real quick, because I am very thirsty. And my coffee's pretty much out, so. Drop that into the bin. Where's my glass? Let's get some decaffeination going. Bit of decaf Coke. Or decaf Pepsi. Because it's getting towards the afternoon. I really don't like to have anything caffeinated. Kind of after 12, 1 o'clock. Because otherwise I really do struggle to sleep. Kind of incredible. Nice and refreshing, that is. Lovely. Lovely. Alright, I'm going to switch to the BRB screen ever so quickly, just so I can visit the loo, because I am busting. So give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back with you all. And we're back. Oh my god. I didn't realize just how much I needed to pee until I started peeing. That's crazy. Did anyone else get that? Like, you know when you're like, you need to pee. So, you're like, oh, I'm not that buzzing. So you hold it a little bit. But then you let it out and just like, I'm a changed man. Like, you just didn't realize the extent at which you needed to go pee. That's literally me right now. I feel so much lighter. Oh, that made such a damn difference. Craziness. Crazy. With a capital K. Alrighty. So now we got that fixed, we can actually just jump straight into some level design. Epic stuff. We can also close these down because we don't need these anymore. Close that. Sick. I guess I really should do... now we've got that working. Let's save this. Portals updated to teleport to correct portal to spawn at. There you go. Checking changes. Save. And existing workspace. I was told wait for the workspace operation to finish. Cool. What does that mean? Not any incoming changes. Change sets. Initial commit. I've only recently set up this whole Unity version control. I have no idea what to do. I mean, I pressed it again and suddenly it works. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing with this. So I'm just hoping. Change sets. So there's this. Am I able to like just double click on one of these and like load it up potentially? Is that something I'm able to do? Download Cloud Edition. This feature requires a Unity control installation. That's just something I'm going to work on later on. For the time being, though, I'm going to get Fork up and just do my own manual backup, just in case. Let's move this over here. So also you like multiple backups. You can never be too careful, just in case. Just in case. Just copy this. Days. There's a number of times I've lost all my work. Not fun. Not fun. So I now, especially when doing something like this, right? Like, see, all these pending changes, right? I guess this is just because I've done a Git update. I don't know what this is. But it works when I do it through Fork. So I know I need to learn how to use this properly. But yeah, we'll see. It was one of those things, like if having like version control baked into Unity is like an easy enough fix rather than using any external software, I'd rather just do that because it's gonna make my life a little bit easier. But I don't know if it's necessarily doing that. All right, so. Load scene, and let's also load up Zone 3. Additive. There we go. Happy days. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go into every single one of these scenes, and background bar. Am I crashing? Yeah, we're crashing. Good job. Good job. I just backed up, isn't it? Mad how that happens. Crazy. I just backed up. How thankful am I? Let's load this back up again. See, this is why you always do multiple backups. Always. Always. That couldn't have been a better time to showcase my rationale for that. Absolutely perfect. Alright. Background far. You. You're getting disabled. There we go. Background far is all disabled, and then we'll also just disable Oh, Tellide, no. No, we're not going to disable them. We're not going to disable them. We're going to make them unseeable in editor mode. The same with God Rays. So we're just able to work in a little bit more of a cleaner workspace. And anything fog related as well. You can just disappear. Like that. That way, the workspace is just a bit clearer. Now, when we go into game mode, it's all going to be there still. So we've got nothing to worry about whatsoever. Well, you do have something to worry about if you got 3 different scenes all contradicting itself and lowered up. Right.
Good morning, William. Where's your
I
phone
need to...
today?
I'm to get my free 1 month. I'm getting my free 1 month of Spotify. Because I am sick and tired of updating of these advertisements. Let's log in. PayPal, confirm using PayPal app, sure. Yes, confirm. Agree. Back to Spotify. And are we premium now? Your pan. Try free for 1 month. Or what's this? Prime student trying free for 2 months. Try free for 1 month. Log in. Oops, something went wrong. Continue with purchase. PayPal checkout. Confirm using app. I just want a free month. Is that too much to ask for? I just don't want ads playing every 5 minutes. Open the app to continue. Go back. Next. Let me just confirm a different way. It's not liking me. It's not liking me. Let's just receive a text instead. All fun and games. I'll get this playing in the background just so you've got a little something. Oh, of course I just pressed play again without closing the scenes. Just so you've got a little something to look at, I was going to say. Let's get both of them. Select. There we go. Okay, we're going to do that. That, actually. Continue. Agree and continue. There we go. That's the horrible sound of money leaving my bank account. Yeah, we've got that there, so I'll just I'll have that playing in the background. You're subscribed to Premium. Way free today through to February the 8th. Echo reminds me on the 7th of February to cancel Spotify. What day is the 7th? Wednesday at 1 PM. Echo reminds me at 1 PM on the 7th of February to cancel Spotify.
I'll remind you the 7th of February at 1 PM. This reminder sounds important. Would you like me to follow up on it until it's completed?
No. Okay, epic. Now that's sorted. And I now have Premium. Ads free. So if I close this, I should be on the premium version now. In theory. In theory. Sorry about that. That wouldn't be the most entertaining content for you all, but at least we should have it now. So now if we come Spotify, do the old close and open back up again. It's back in. Boom. Yeah, got premium now. Wait. No more ads. Go us. We didn't go for something a bit different because there's a load of different stream beat playlists. We've got lo-fi, ambient, hip hop, hype tracks. Got all sorts. Hi-fi. Bit more upbeat lo-fi kind of stuff going on. Yeah, bit of drum and bass, house, dubstep. Is that chiptune? Oh, that'd be something else. Ooh, synthwave is a shout actually. Do they only have one? Oh, do they only have one thing? Oh no, they've got loads. I do love a bit of synthwave as well, to be fair. It very much, it just reminds me of Stranger Things, is what it does. Stranger Things all over. I love it. We'll have this going on in the background. Can you hear the music all right? Slash, can you also hear me over the music? I guess that's the more important aspect here. Let's get this up. Press play so I can. Yeah, it sounds good. Happy days. Happy days. All right. Let's get back into this. Let's have a gander. Have a gander. So now we should be able to open both of these. And when we go into this, we can zoom out. Epic. So we can see everything now. And we can go ahead with just doing general level design shenanigans. And we won't have to worry about all the backgrounds and things kind of getting in our way. Which is lovely. Lovely stuff. Let's come out and just get those out of our way. Nice. So go in here. We're going to go into setup in scene 1. I just want to double check the stuff with the lights, the mid-ground light. And just adjust the shape of that. Just so it's a bit more fitting with what we need. Like that. There we go. Pull this back a little bit just so it's a bit more in keeping with what I'm doing. Happy days. This actually does need to be a lot higher up. Because this should generally be following the path of the thing. But every now and again just having a little bit of variation just so we can spice things up ever so slightly. Lovely. Alright, and now we need to get the one for level 3. So we can close that up. I want to do the same in here with the mid-ground light and just bring that there, like so. What's the fall-off strength like actually if we compare them? Are they slightly different? Lights, mid-ground light, 0.6333. So that should actually be that more so. 1-1 in that kind of color. 1-1, a bit of a different color. Oh, okay. So I need to actually just copy. I can't copy it because it's going to edit all the different shapes of everything, which is a faff. That looks like that. And what's it like compared to this? So if we go into the mid-ground light on here, if I just make that flat color there, 1.8, 1.8, 0.75. So we'll just make sure we've got all these settings copied over. So it should be the same for each of them. So it's mid-ground light, 1.8, and then 0.75. And then the color is that one, which it looks like it is the same for that. Nice. And then this one, which is the prefab, which is the one that we should actually update, and we'll just update the overrides for after the fact. 1.8.75. Yeah, we'll just make this like so. Bring this down. There we go. And then we'll just update the overrides for that. Happy days. Just so whenever we spawn another one of these in one of the other scenes, it's just gonna look a bit nicer. Just a little bit nicer. Okay. So what do we actually want from this area here? This is gonna be this is gonna be the biggest area so far, the ones we've made. And according to our little design, which is it's this area here, we want to have an emphasis on platforming. That's the whole point of this section. Emphasis on platforming, because this is the tutorial area. We're essentially teaching the player the different components of the game. So we want to teach them about platforming. And just because my OCD is going to absolutely bollock me if I don't do this, let's update the mid-ground lights for this. So it actually extends all the way to the end. Like so. Just add another one of those in there. There we go. That's a bit better. And then we'll do the same again for Zone 3. Boom. Like so. Yeah, you can just move over. Like that. That looks fine. For the time being, anyway. It's good enough. Good enough. Alright, so now we know that all these areas line up kind of according to what the map is. It overlaps ever so slightly. That's fine. This is going to take us there. And then the roof of this is going to be closed off and build it. And the next section, or room 4, is going to extend from that. So let's actually just create that now. Let's create that now. Just so we have a context as to where we want people to buy, where we want to direct the player to. So, to do that, I've got a template scene. Or I should have a template scene somewhere. Main menu. Thought I had a template scene. I do. Let's load this up. In fact, no, we're going to duplicate that. This is the duplicated one. We're going to call this Zone 1, Scene 4. Okay, and all the stuff for this is going to be nearer the top. If I remember correctly. No? Oh, no, yeah, we need to open it, of course. Open the scene, yeah. All the stuff is up here. Okay, so the first thing we'll do, we'll come in and we will just, of course, go into the background file. Make that all invisible. You don't need to be seeing any of this right now. And then... How long have you been working on this game? It's kind of like a complicated answer, to be honest. God rays. We'll just make them non-viewable as well. Yeah, it's kind of a complicated one because I've... Oh, I need to do the fog as well. We'll leave the fog for now because we'll extend that over. This originally started off as a university project. Yeah, this game started off as a project for my final game project module. And for that, I essentially had to follow a brief, which... the brief was pretty simple. It was just make a game. But I only had, I think it was 10 weeks. It was 10 to 12 weeks to make a game from beginning to end. And I wanted to make a metroidvania. Well, technically, it started off as a roguelite. Because I was learning to make games. At this point, I'm in my 3rd year of university. I technically hadn't made a game from start to finish yet. So I was like, okay, I really want to push the boundaries. And I want to go as hard as I physically can. And back when I started this, my abilities as a game designer were trash. For want of a better word. I had not really put that much effort into anything. And the game looked extremely different. This is what the game started off as. Excuse me, with hair looking like a year and a half younger. But I can showcase. I back and showcase the game a little bit. So this is me. Oh, me with hair. Crazy how much I've aged in the last year. This is what the game started off as. This was it. And everything that I've pretty much, I have learned. I was literally at this stage, which is literally just having a character be able to move left and right. I barely even knew how to do that. And over the year, I learned some new bits. And I've recorded the whole thing. Recorded the whole thing in this devlog series on YouTube. Record my whole kind of transition and everything I've learned as I've progressed and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, eventually, with enough practice and just trial and error and changing systems, learning to code from scratch pretty much from this project. Pretty much 90% of what I know, code-wise and all that, is from building this project, this one project. Which is crazy. Crazy stuff. But this one project is what taught me to use it. But because I had to kind of build it for a university project, there were time constraints in place, and I had to fit it so it did align with the brief that I was set for the project. So I was a bit confined, but the project ended up looking like this. I can actually load it up and show you, because I actually made a finished demo. And after university, I just did a Hail Mary. I was like, screw it, I'll make a Kickstarter. It failed, naturally, because, you know, it was rushed. I didn't properly know what I was doing, all that kind of jazz. But I made a finished demo. The demo, I say finished. I made a demo. It worked. It had music. It had the controls. It had a boss at the end. A boss that is still going to stay in this, because I actually really enjoy the boss design. Or the boss that I did design for this game. So the boss is, there's going to be a few changes, but it's still going to fundamentally be the same thing. And yeah, so I worked on that for like the 10 weeks, and then there've been a couple breaks that I've had throughout that time. I've taken a couple breaks. And on and off. And this demo, which is my university project, actually won a few awards. It got me, I won Best Project on my course, which I got at my graduation, which was back in November. So I got a fancy extra prize and an additional awards ceremony and stuff that I got to go to for that, which is pretty epic. I also won a few awards across the country as well for the work. I got best sound design and stuff like that for the work that not only just went into the game, but actually setting up my studio as an undergrad student, and working alongside some other talented creators like the Millen brothers, who wrote the music that's in this demo. So they wrote this title theme. There's a zone theme which you'll hear as we play the game itself. There's an ambient build up to the boss, and then there's the boss gameplay as well, the boss soundtrack. And yeah, won some national awards for that, which was pretty sick. I think overall this game's won me 4 different awards at this point, which is nice. Which is very nice. But this is very unpolished. As you'll be able to see, the game looks very different to what it does currently. Very different. So I'll just jump in. For context as well, the demo, there's no way to quit the game. You have to Alt F4 to quit. That's how rushed this is. But it's very floaty. You can see the particle effects are not quite there. It's definitely got a vibe. Like, aesthetically, it's got a kind of signature to it. But when we do compare it to what it looks like now with the gameplay, I'll just have to close these down again real quick. Unload scenes. It also didn't have a main gameplay loop as well. Like, it was just a standard metroidvania. You travel through the world, you pick up an ability, you use that ability to get to the boss, you beat the boss. That was all it was. But I was showcasing different, and I was building from the ground these different systems, so that once I finished the module, I could continue building up the game and improving things. So you can see the game looks very different now. It's the same kind of aesthetic. All the assets are exactly the same, but it's a lot more refined now. a lot more refined. We've got interactable bits. The like attack animations are better, that kind of stuff. We've got some actual cool abilities. Like, it's a lot more refined, but most of the work that I've done this past year has been groundwork. It's been setting up the state machines. It's been setting up all the different functionality for the game, so that at this point, more or less now, from now on, all I need to do is just make different enemies, which is really fun. Make boss fights, which is really fun. Do the level design, which for me is one of the most fun parts of game design. So all the like hard grunt work I've kind of got in place. So everything's just pretty easy comparatively. It's not easy, but it's comparatively easy than if I were to set it up from the beginning again. So yeah, this is what it used to look like. And yeah, I absolutely love the sounds, the soundtrack. The Millen Brothers did such an amazing job, but there were a lot of issues with this demo. There were some bugs. The programming itself was god awful. But I learned a lot. I learned an absolute ton from this, and it got me to where I am now. You know, we had NPCs, and we've got this art, which is all made by an artist called Hannah. She reached out. There's a link, actually, if you're on the YouTube, if you go to the YouTube channel, the YouTube live stream, I should say, there's a link to her Instagram page, so you'll be able to, like, see them. But I got, like, a narrative system in place, all that kind of jazz. Can't skip through it. Something I'm going to be adding in this current demo, but yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff. Thank you for following as well, Box. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. But yeah, just setting up a bunch of different systems and educating myself on fundamentals of like the game design process, programming. As I said, everything I know how to program now, I learned through the process of making this game. And I'm a lot better at it now. I've learned an absolute ton. Like, we've got spikes here, which is cool. So resetting the player. Now in the new game, in the new version, we have a save system and everything like that. So lots of... Oh, I died. Damn. Oof. I didn't pick up the heal ability. Should have done that. But yeah, there was a full-on speedrunning community for this game as well for a little bit when the demo released. It was quite funny. Yeah, like 10 weeks of work, and people were able to beat it in, I think the record currently is standing at like 1 minute 43 seconds or something ridiculous like that. Oh, let me get the heal ability real quick. There we go. Let's jump down. So I'm making different cutscenes, mini cutscenes like that, knowing how to like handle the player so that they don't move, different enemy types, things like that. Even now, like looking back at the level design of this, I'm very unimpressed with myself. Like it's all right, don't get me wrong, but it's yeah, there's a lot of wasted potential. Like there's definitely a lot more that I plan to do, and I put a lot more thought into the level design behind things. But yeah, this is this demo right here is actually it is available to play on the LazyTeaStudios Patreon. So if you were interested, you were able to have a little peruse at this. Oh dear, not good. But yeah, I really want to expand my knowledge base, and that's kind of what I've been doing. Yeah, it's good stuff. Let's see, there's some little stuff up there. We'll go. We've got some little boiling water spikes, so you know, a bit of a platforming segment. Nothing too strenuous. Get up there. But the soundtrack as well. The Millen Brothers did such a phenomenal job. It's so atmospheric. It's incredible what they did. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, there is a little bit of a speedrunning glitch you can do there. Where if you pogo the bird when it's in the right position, you can get over. There we go. And usually there is an NPC here, but it's been removed in this demo by the looks of it. And we can speak to her again. And even this, all the enemies, so all the other enemies use a certain state machine. This one used an enum state machine, so I was just trying out different possibilities. It's all really sick to hear. I'm actually looking to becoming a game developer myself. I have absolutely no experience or skill with game development myself, but I want to get into it. I mean, we all start there. We all start there. And the best advice I can give is just do it. Because you will learn through experience. You'll learn things through experience. Like, if you've got the passion and the willingness to actually... Now I've got the dash. Like, you can see there, like, some people could just walk over that and not even realize, like, there's so much stuff in this that's just, like, bad. But, like, it works. It works. Happy days. We come over this way. The one-way door. Yeah, it's open. Hey. Oh, we don't want to jump there. But yeah, you just have to give it a go. It's the only way. Follow tutorials at the beginning, or if you have a bit of money set aside, I'd always recommend maybe getting a course, just because it'll just speed up the process. But you by no means need to. And yeah, just make a bunch of games and enjoy it, because it's awesome. Making games, it's like the best decision I ever made. Best decision I made to decide to follow through with doing this. And I love it. It's just fun. I have so much fun doing what I do. And if I can eventually make it such that I can play the bills doing this, epic. Epic. There we go. So that'll fade now. Well, the music should fade. If I talk to Aveline, maybe. Speed through this. Now, because we've got the dash, we're able to get up here. Whee! But there was a speedrunning trick. So see this bird? It's very intentionally placed, because you can pogo off it to get up, so you don't even need the dash. Happy days, but the dash helps a lot. But now this is the boss fight, and this was some of the most fun I had making this. So we'll have the unique soundtrack. This isn't actually even, now I'm thinking of it, this isn't even the soundtrack for the boss that the Miller Brothers made. This is an old demo actually then, if that's the case. But yeah, we've got a little boss fight. It's pretty sick. And yes, I can no-hit my own boss. I can no-hit it without the dash as well. I say it. I was looking at chat. That doesn't count. I swear. Ooh, we're into phase 2. Oh, I died. Rip. But yeah, that's the boss. Epic stuff. And that's pretty much the demo. There isn't that much to it. Yeah, I'm thinking of watching some courses and YouTube videos. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to go. That's the best way to learn, in my opinion. That's how I learned. Like, I did go to university and study game design. Game design and development specifically. But that taught me a lot of stuff on, like, the fundamentals of like, how to make games fun and how to be more of a game producer, more than actually someone who makes the games themselves. But I didn't really learn much programming or anything like that from going to university. I learned a bit of art. Learned more about the theory of art. So like things like color theory, that kind of stuff. But yeah, like 90% of what I know, as I said, was from making this project and from just following tutorials, making a bunch of games. Like right now, that's actually something I'm doing. All of these games you could say I've made in the last like 2 weeks. 2 weeks I've made these games. And yeah, I've learned something from every single one. Maybe minus the 2D platformer. I didn't actually learn anything from this, but that's because my main project is a 2D platformer. So making a very basic one, I kind of already knew what I was doing, which is fine. But yeah, just make a bunch of different games. Start small. Don't make an MMO for your first game. You probably shouldn't even make an MMO at all, ever. Just because MMOs are very big, and you're just never really going to be able to make one on your own. But yeah, like, even if you want to make games, you don't even have to learn how to program or anything. I was saying this yesterday. Enter game jams if your main priority is like art and it's the thing you enjoy most, and that's the important bit. You need to focus on the thing you enjoy most. Like, if you want to make games, but you don't enjoy programming, you don't enjoy doing the paperwork and all that kind of stuff, which is the design stuff, but you really, really enjoy art, just focus on being a game artist. You can enter game jams and you can team up with a programmer, a designer, and that kind of stuff, and you can be the dedicated artist. They come up with the ideas, they make the game work, and you provide the art for them. So, and on the flip side, if you don't enjoy doing art, like in my case, I don't enjoy. Like, I do and I don't. Like, I don't have the patience to do art only. Let's put it that way. I don't mind doing the odd bits here and there, but I don't enjoy making art. It's not my strong point. And I don't have the patience for it. But programming, I struggle with, but I do enjoy, and I get a lot of satisfaction out of. And I enjoy optimizing that kind of stuff. And the same with design work. I mean, I am a designer at heart. I love the design aspect. I enjoy making things fun, figuring out why they're fun, why things work, why players do things a certain way. That's my forte. I love that stuff. Which is why I'm happy enough to kind of run my own indie studio and make it all myself. I dip my toes into every little aspect of game creation. But for the stuff that I A, don't enjoy, or B, aren't very good at, I work with other people to help me. Like the Millen brothers. I actually have a music background. I played semi-professionally. I played the oboe and cor anglais in orchestras for like 10 years of my life. I've got a very good knowledge of like sound creation and music and that kind of stuff. But again, it's not something I necessarily enjoy, and it takes a long time to do all that kind of stuff as well. I'd rather go and have someone who's A, as passionate about the project as I am, and B, is dedicating their life to music and can make something a lot better than I could. Like, I could make something good. The Millen brothers, it's their thing, and they are absolutely phenomenal at it. So I work with the Millen brothers, and they do all the music, and they're going to be doing the sound effects for the game. Epic stuff. I as I said, I don't really like doing the art and that kind of stuff. So I work with Pen USB Mike and Hannah, and they make the art for the game. Epic stuff. And yeah, and there's stuff that like I feel like I'm good at, and I enjoy the programming and the design work and the level design stuff. That's what I do. I pull everything together. And the things, I can take assets, I can take art and put it into the game and make it look pretty. But again, even that's something that like Hannah or Pen USB Mike would just be better at. So it's something that might, over time, you might start to introduce, get them in editor, or just send them the screenshots of what the zones look like and get them to create assets for it. Could be cool. But we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, if you enjoy the art side of things, enter a game jam. Just be the dedicated artist for the team. That'd be an epic way to get into the industry. Plus, you'll learn stuff about the whole process of making a game because you'll be doing it with other people. That's a really cool boss. Is it the one you created from the start? Yeah. I mean, the art assets again are made by someone else. But I took the animations and I changed the animations for a lot of stuff. I changed the proportions so it worked in the context of my game. The slam ability, for example, didn't have those smoke effects coming up, so I added those and made it work as a mechanic within my thing. But the actual art generally was made by someone else. But I designed the boss, I designed the abilities, the timing systems, all that kind of stuff, and made the state machine that made it work. It was really fun. It was probably one of the most fun aspects of making the demo, I must say. Yeah, I think art is my strongest side and one of the things I want to do. Yeah, so just focus on that. Focus on it. There are university courses and things like that do focus on game art specifically. But you don't really need to do one, because to be fair, like, it will provide you with a lot of context and a structured environment to learn and practice and get some valuable insights. But I mean, you don't have to do that. You can just do some independent study, try and find out like what are the main kind of resources you use. So things like Photoshop, Blender, Substance Painter, all those kind of things, and just start working your way through the list and learning how to use each one. And yeah, enter game jams. Game jams is just like one of the best places to learn and just an upskill, because you'll be given a brief and it's literally just like, here is what we're making, go make this. Epic, go. Really, really fun. And you can enter as a beginner. Like, you can go into a game jam with absolutely zero knowledge on what you're doing, enter a team of people who are happy enough to work with a beginner, and they'll help you. They'll help you. They'll give you some tips, tricks, help you along the way, and 3 game jams later, you know what you're doing, and you can do it yourself. So yeah, it's all fun and games. All fun and games. But yeah, I absolutely love game design. One of my favorite parts of game creation. So yeah, let's get some music back again now that the demo's over. Bit of synth. Yeah. Keep the hype going. Alright. Let's load these back up again. These bad boys. There you go. You can just see how the level's going to get laid out. It's structured just a little bit. So, scene 4. Open this up. The environment. Mid-ground, ground core. Gonna want to come onto the tile palette. And it's going to be around here that we're going to be building this. So, if we look at our map, it's kind of like a boxy kind of room for the most part around the next, but it overlaps ever so slightly on top. So let's create that. So following this area here is probably a good place to start. So we'll go with a 3 high, and it goes up ever so slightly more. There we go. And then lengthwise, how long is this room? That's also important in our diagrams. So it's pretty much the exact same length, and it takes us to the edge here. Cool. This is going to be a big room. Jesus. That'll probably do. I'll probably do us. About that. Oh, look at that. How perfect. How perfect. 1, 2, 3. And that'll be the size of the next room, pretty much. Nice. That's going to be a big space to work in. Lovely. And for now, I'll just stick with these ones. I think it's fine just to stick with these. Because this is... unironically, right? The original demo that I made was probably like this big. That's probably how big the original demo was. The tutorial area alone is already half of that for the new demo. What are your recommendations to get into one of those groups of people who's willing to help a beginner? I am going to just press this button. So what are your recommendations to get into one of those groups in a game jam with people who are willing to help a beginner? Right. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. You're going to open up Google, and you're going to go to itch.io. Itch.io. You're going to go to the top, and you're going to see jams right here. You're going to click on jams, and this is a list of not every single, there are many other game jams that are going on. This is a list of all the game jams on itch.io that are currently going on. Right, so you look for one that kind of fits in with your timescale. So let's say you want to start one next week, for example. Bear in mind, game jams, for context, can last from anywhere from like 24 hours, so you have to make a game in 24 hours, to like 6 months long. I recommend starting with small game jams that last maybe a week. As a beginner, because you're going to have to spend a lot of time learning this stuff, maybe enter one that lasts a week, 2 weeks. Okay, I think that's a good sweet spot to be in. So you'll just have a look, and you'll just see, okay, one that lasts 2 weeks, so it's gonna be kind of like this size, give or take. This one lasts a week. So, and this is a Godot wild jam. So if the game engine you're wanting to use is Godot, which is a whole other kettle of fish to look into, I do recommend Godot for beginners. For context, it's really lightweight, very beginner friendly, some really good tutorials out there. For context, this one that I'm using is Unity. It's a bit more heavyweight, a bit more complicated, but for beginners, you can't really go wrong with a Godot, I don't think. I think it's a good spot. So Godot Wild Jam. It tells you when it's going to start, and you just click Join Jam. And then there'll typically be a Discord server associated with it. Right? So I'll provide a bit of context. Personally, myself, on Friday, am taking part in the Pirate Software Game Jam. Now, this is a 2-week-long game jam, hosted by Pirate Software, who's a pretty massive Twitch streamer. And I'm going to be doing this with LazyTeaStudios, who's another game developer on YouTube. I'm entering this, and there's a Discord link. I'll pull up my Discord so you can kind of see an example of what these can kind of look like. Right? So this is the Discord server, so that you join. They've got a game jam chat down here, which is going to provide a bit of context. But then down at the bottom here, they've got a whole section for game jam, right? So you can go onto the forum, or you can go into game jam art, and there's a whole chat that you can speak to kind of go into, explore different things, ask questions, all that kind of stuff. And then you can go into game jam forum, and literally you'll see a few here. Sound design and composer looking to join a group. Team of 3. Literally come in, create a new post, and say beginner game artist looking for group. Write a little bit about yourself. Any experience you do have, if you do have any at all. Tag it with art. You can literally say, like, literally, I'm a beginner. I'd be looking for someone to kind of help me, show me the ropes. You'd be surprised how many people will be willing to do that. Especially in these larger jams when there's like 4,000 different people that have entered. And that's not even 4,000 different people. That's 4,000 different groups, potentially. So it's definitely worth coming in, just saying, I'm a beginner, I'm looking to, this is going to be my first ever game jam, I'm interested in doing some art, and I'd love someone to kind of guide me through it, through the game jam, and provide a bit of help. Post that. You'd be surprised. There'll be some people that'll come in and they'll say, listen, I'm more than happy to kind of help you here. Join our group. They'll probably provide you with a personal Discord, add them as a friend, whatever. And away you go. When the game jam starts, you'll be given a theme. So let's say the theme could be anything for a game jam. It could be like cats, let's say. And the game you make for that jam has to revolve around the theme of cats. And that's what game jams are. You basically, you make a game in a set time period with a theme that's given to you. The rest is free reign. It's good stuff. I'd recommend maybe joining this one, to be fair. It starts on Friday. It's a 2-week game jam. Join that Discord, ask away, like, is anyone able to help a beginner? See what happens. But if not, as I said, there's loads here that you can find. If you want to work in Godot, the Godot Wild Jams are really, really good opportunities. They're pretty popular. Yeah, really, really good places to go. Really, really good. And you'll learn loads. You'll learn loads, potentially make a bunch of new friends. Game jams are epic. Game jams are epic. So yeah, that's what I'd do. Doug, good morning. Good morning from the YouTube side. Hello, hello. How are things? How are things? We're actually we're doing some work. Can you imagine? We've already solved like multiple bugs today. Multiple bugs. We've enhanced the player visibility. So we've got this little like outline around them. And we're starting to do some level design. But I will be taking a 10-minute break soon. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take 2 minutes. I'm going to go put some rice in my rice cooker. Okay? That'll literally take 2 minutes, and then it's half an hour in the rice cooker. And then once that's cooked, I'm going to take a 10-minute break just to eat some lunch. So I'll be back in literally like 2 minutes. If you've got any questions at all, whether it be to do with game design, Amber's Tale, anything and everything, stick it in the chat, and once I get back from put the rice on, I'll answer them all for you. But yeah, I'll be back in just a moment. And we're back. Hello, hello. I'm actually going to switch my glasses because I'm starting to, everything just seems a bit dark. So I'm going to take the pink ones off. Oh, everything's so green. Oh, Jesus. Everything just becomes so much more green whenever I take the pink lenses off. Jesus. Because the pink ones get rid of a lot. It tones down a lot of those green colors. So everything's very intense when they suddenly come back. Crazy. There we go. There we are. It's Avaganda. Alrighty. So that's that room. We're also going to need to make a space for the player to actually transition between the different rooms. So let's set that up real quick. I think in my thing, I put it about there, didn't I? That seems about right. Okay, we also need to close the top of this one. So let's get the mid-ground, ground core. Let's also just close this out. There we go. I think it's actually a bit too big. I don't really need it to be this thick. Let's do that. Just so everything's a bit cleaner. Always just keeping the edges 3 thick. Just for consistency's sake, more than anything. Alrighty. That's that. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Whoa. Hello everyone over on Twitch. Suddenly got 8 viewers. Where have you all come from? Hello. Hello, hello, hello. We're here just doing a little bit of level design for my action Metroidvania, Amber's Tale. So yeah, we're just going to be working on a bit of a platforming section that's up here. It should be good fun. Should be good fun. But in the meantime, this probably needs to come a little bit lower, actually. So I'm going to put that, like, more there. Delete that. Oh, no, this is in, thingy. Let's put that like that. 3 high. That can be where we end up going into the new space. So then come in here. Need to open that up. And then we'll just add a little bit of a lip there as well. Just so we can be a bit more organized with where... Not on that one. On this one. There we go. There we are. Happy days. Look at that. Alright, and then we'll make the transition between the two of them as well. Just so that's working. So, in objects in scene 3, which is this side, portals, portal right. We're going to come along into prefabs, portals, portal left. No, we need portal right. We still need portal right. There we go. And that'll go there. Happy days. Then we're going to come into the inspector. This is going to go into zone 4. And it's going to spawn into portal 1. This one is portal 2. Because this one down here is portal 1. Yep, this is portal 2. Alright, portal 2. Go into position 4. Yep, cool. That goes into there. In scene 3. Awesome. And then in scene 4, we're going to add a portal left. There we go. And again, this needs to be moved into scene 4. Put it in objects. No, don't want to move the enemies. Portals. And this is going to be portal position 1 within the scene. It's going to spawn to position 2, which is this, in scene 3. This, of course, being portal position 2 in scene 3. This needs to go to portal position 2 in scene 3. And this is portal position 1 in scene 4. And this goes to portal position 1 in scene 4. Lovely. So that should just work out of box now, which we love. So what we'll do, we'll close this one down, unload, 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 and then we'll just move the player up to the top just so we can test that's working. So in setup player, move them up there. So when we play, we should be able to switch between the two different zones now. Of course, I didn't set up the camera bounds. Give me a second to just fix that real quick. Camera bounds, camera boundaries, because we set the boundary to only be this space here, which, you know, doesn't work. So it should be like that. There we go. Set that there. And we'll just add new component, collider, another box collider 2D. Is trigger, is used by composite. And then we'll just set this to be the size of everything else. That'll be this size. And you can see how it kind of merges the colliders together. Just what we want. It should actually overlap ever so slightly there. Here, open this up. There we are. Happy days. And that should go to the end as well. There we are. And then we should do the same for scene 4, actually. So scene 4, where's the player in scene 4? It's going to be up there somewhere. Yeah. We'll put them down here, so we will know whether it's actually taking us to the top up here, which would be nice. And then camera bounds, boundaries, main area. That's going to be up there again, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll bring that down. And we'll just set the boundaries to be the side of the room. Nice and easy boundary, this one. Very nice and easy. Happy days. That's that sorted. Camera bounds, camera manager. We don't need this and we don't need this, so they can both be disabled. Open cam. This is going to be this main area, which is that one. Framing transposer, that's all fine. And then follow object is all good. I think that should be... that should all be fine. So if we play this now, let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. Fingers and thumbers. There we go. Granted, the light isn't shown, but we still know what we're doing. Transform, and it doesn't work. Why didn't that work? Console. Reference, camera manager. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just didn't remove the references to the other cameras. Let's load that scene up again. Startup. Game manager. No, not the game manager. Cameras. Camera manager. And of course, that needs to go. Along with these two, because we're not using them right now. Alright, that should work now. Until something else breaks, of course. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, that's cool. We'll go into the next room. And it spawns us there. Hey, look at that. Go back through, and it takes us here. Look at that. Easy as pie. Easy as pie. We've got the rooms working. Then we can come down here, of course, into the new area. It's going to work very nicely with the camera bound system. Just while we're here as well, just check it actually locks on the other side as well, like we wanted it to. This is a very, very big room. Jesus, and it does. Lovely. Nice doing some level design. Yes, yes, we are. And absolutely loving it as well. Having some good fun. This room is massive. I might need to make this room a bit smaller. It's bloody huge. Jesus. And that takes us to the top up here. Epic. I'm so glad we fixed that issue. So glad we fixed that issue. Come along down. Of course, we take damage on everything we possibly could. And that works all the way down to here. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. How are you doing anyway, Alucard? How are things with you? How are things going? Yeah, we started quite a bit earlier today. Quite a bit earlier. Not that I'm complaining. Not that I'm complaining. It's been good stuff. And, yeah, just some new quality of life things, basically. New quality of life things. But yeah. I need to set up a little bot as well, just to share the Discord server every now and again in the chat. At the very least on Twitch, I think. Because at least on YouTube, the link's in the description, but I've just remembered that I forgot to set that up. Yeah, it looks like you've been doing some early streams lately. To be fair, this is the earliest one I've done. Most of them, for the most part, typically I actually start streaming in about an hour's time. That's usually when I start doing them. Do you have a blur shader or something like that for the background? You mean, Doug? Is that for the background or for something else? But yeah, I usually start now, but today's my last day off work, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna make the most of it. Do a long stream, because after this stream is done, we're also gonna hit affiliate. Happy days. So tomorrow, if I decide to stream tomorrow, might take a couple days off. But on Saturday, when I do another 6-hour stream, we should have hit affiliate on Twitch, which is going to be epic stuff. I can start begging people for Twitch Primes then, just like all the streamers do. Hey, yeah, yes, on the background. No, it's not a shader. It is. I'll show you the one scene that doesn't actually have the stuff open. Let me open it up for you. I'll do it in scene 1. Fuck it, let's do it there. So, what we basically have is we've got a very complicated system in place. I'm not gonna lie. Guess I'll have to start watching on Twitch. Hey, yeah. I mean, if you feel free. I mean, it's basically I'm multicasting, so I'm streaming on both of them. Let's put it that way. But if you do have a Twitch account to hand, and it's not currently following, as you can see, we're very close to our follower goal. Very, very close. Just 2 more people, and we'll have hit that today. So I'll get to update it. Hell yeah. But yeah, we've hit all the other allocations for Twitch affiliate. We've got the average streamers, so even right now we've got an average of 6 people on Twitch, which is epic. Thank you all on Twitch. And yeah, we've hit all the other allocations with number of streams and all that kind of stuff. Boxanage, is that another account? Is that an alternate account that you've just followed on Box? That's epic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So race to see who's gonna be number 60. Who's gonna trigger it? Who's gonna be the one? It's gonna have a big pop-up on screen with arrows and targets. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, with regards to the shader, we've got a convoluted set of cameras here. But for the most part, the main ones that you need to focus on is this one here, right? Pretty much everything else focuses on it all focuses on like how the camera interacts with the world, but you don't need any of that. The only thing you really need is one of these or 2 of these. So the main camera here is just your standard kind of camera. It's a perspective one just for the context of the game, so we get the parallax effect going. But it is set up as a default one here, whereas we've got child cameras, but these are still cameras, but these are set as a render type of overlay. Okay, sharp is just standard. It's just using there's nothing special about this. This is a standard camera that is an overlay. The blur, now I've got multiple because I've got 2 different layers of blur. So I've got blur that's close to the camera and blur that's far away from the camera. That just so I can add that extra additional effect. And for context, this is quite an expensive way to do this. You could do a shader, but in my personal opinion, I think this looks a lot nicer, and I've got a lot more fine control with it, which is why I'm doing it this way. But then we've got a background blur camera, which again is just another camera set to overlay. But the key one here is that it's the culling mask is rendering the layer of background close, which is a layer that I've set up, right? It's only rendering background close. And we've got a volume here, an environment volume, which again is also masked to background close. Okay, and we're using post-processing. That is ticked. Now, I have a few different things. I've got a different post-processing setup, and I've got another one here, background close blur. So I've added a global volume with a depth of field post-processing effect added onto it, right? And I'm using the broker just because it's sexy. I don't know. It looks nice. Broker, or however you pronounce that. And that actual post-processing layer is again on the background close. Now, any object that I put into the world that I then put on the layer background close and have a sorting layer on like the sprite renderer, so whether it be 3D, whether it be 2D, whatever, if it's on background close for both of these, it will have that post-processing volume applied to it. So it will be blurred. Okay? So basically any item in the background, any item at all. So for me, it's these trees, and there are some other ones that are hidden in the background. They're all on the background close, which means that having that effect cleared. And the camera is set up in such a way that this camera is only rendering things on that background close layer, which is, so it's only rendering things that are blurred. And then I just stick it in the rendering thing and make sure the sharp is always in front, because I can show you what that'll do if I turn it around. Let me just disable all these canvases real quick so you can see it. I'm in game view, so I can't do it that way. Feature menu, let me just hide that. So yeah, if I come to the front here, you'll be able to see if I rearrange the sharp camera, it renders behind. So the order of this is very important. Very important. So the things that you want to be rendered first, you put to the bottom of the list. So for me, anything that's in the foreground, I don't want to be blurred. So it's on the bottom. And I've also got a UI camera, because again, the UI is in front of even everything else, right? Just because I use it for the way I do certain things, because I render particles in my actual game. But then I've got the two different layers of parallax in the background, or the two different blurred things. And yeah, because the things that are on that camera, the only things that are being rendered by this camera are things that are blurred, and they're being attached by this, I can just adjust this one setting in the post-processing, and I can make it as blurry or as pixelated as I want. And thank you for the follow. And that right there, I do believe, is that number 59 or is that number 50? Is that number 60? Ooh, we're one away still. I thought I read this as it's 59 now. I thought it was 58. Dyslexic as all hell. I do apologize. But yeah, the next follow will get us to 60. But thank you very much for following. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. But yeah, I can adjust, and I can make any effect I want on this. You can see it's kind of thingy there. I can set the focal distance so it's really blurry. I can change it so it's Gaussian blur instead, which is a different type of blur. So start and end, so it starts there. I think I have to adjust this one, or is it max radius? There we go. So it's a bit blur. It's a different type of blur. But yeah, I really like the broker one. I really like this one. Another good thing is I can add additional things, additional post-processing. So let's say I want to add, I don't know, something I can easily show you. Color curves, for example, onto the master. I can, is it on override? Overriding. Let's go into green, override. Can I like add a point? There we go, yeah. I can change the color of anything just on that layer specifically using the color overrides, for example. That only affects the stuff that's on that background close layer. Nothing else. Nothing else. So if I were to hide that background close layer, for example, nothing else has been affected by that. So I can put custom tints and everything on that stuff. That's the perks of having it split up like this. Background close. Obviously, I don't want that because that looks terrible. But you see the point. It's very modular. I can make really small changes to everything. Very, very easily because of this. But the downside of it, the drawback of doing it this way, is it is quite intensive when it comes to performance. You will notice, like, let me, again, just for provide a bit of context here as well. I'll play. and you will see the difference in FPS because I'll be able to just disable different aspects. All right, so right now, for context, when I'm not streaming and I'm not running about 50 bajillion things on my computer, I'm averaging about 120, 130 FPS. While I'm running about 50 bajillion things on my computer is below. But you can see we're hovering around 70, 80 FPS, right? If I disable just one of these cameras, that jumps up by like 20, 30 FPS. It's a significant improvement. And again, I can disable this other one. It'll jump up again. Now, we've gained over 100 FPS just from disabling those two cameras. So you have to be careful with it. You do have to be careful with it. For me, it's a worthwhile trade-off. I don't have the best computer anyway. So I'd say my computer is probably like pretty mid-tier. It's pretty average. So if I am able to run this at like 160 FPS when I'm not streaming and doing all that kind of stuff in editor, most people will be able to run it at around, most people will be able to get at least 60 FPS. So I'm happy with that. As long, my benchmark is I'm trying to get people to run this game at 60 FPS. As soon as things start to dip below that, that's when I'm like, okay, I need to change how things are functioning. But my target is 60 FPS. So it runs perfectly fine for most people. Good shit. But yeah, that's how I make the camera. That's how I do the blur. Just to TLDR that for you. But yeah, good shit. Let's save that. We'll open this up as well. Additive, and let's get back to a bit of a level design, shall we? A little bit of level design. Fair enough. The missus is on her way home. Just for her lunchtime. So she might be popping onto the stream. Just for a little bit. Say hello. Epic stuff. She's just on her way home from work on her lunch. Gotta say hello to her, you know. I miss her. Yeah. Let's have a look. So we've actually been really productive today. This has been pretty sick. Got loads sorted. But oh my god, this space is massive. I didn't realize just how big this space was until like I started walking through it. That's kind of crazy. Watching you use Unity made me miss using the engine. Yeah, I do love Unity, I must say. I do. Unity does have a soft spot for me in my heart. Like pretty much every game I've ever made has been in Unity. It's kind of cool. I think the only other place I've made like proper games is unironically like in Minecraft, because I used to do a lot of stuff with command blocks and stuff and that kind of stuff way back in the day, like 10 years ago. I used to make command block mods and things like that, so I'd make little games within Minecraft. But that's pretty much the only other experience I have of like an engine, if you can even call it that. But yeah, it's all pretty sick. All right, so what is the main kind of appeal? What's the main draw of this area here? So we're going to be practicing platforming and introducing maybe a different enemy type. Okay, we've already discovered caves and things like that in this area here. So I think I want this to have maybe a couple different, maybe 2 different splitting paths that all lead to the same place, but there's going to be a few different platforming elements within that. So I'll probably introduce spikes into this in this area. Just nothing too dangerous, but an area it's like, well, watch yourself kind of thing. Watch your footing. And do that. But how do I want that to look? That's the main question. How do I want that to look? So when they're coming along here, so we don't want them to just be walking around doing nothing all that much. So let's come in and clear that. In scene 2, level, mid-ground, ground. Okay. So the first point of context will add a little bit of variety here. And I could even go as far as to just add a little... I could add a little spike pit here. just introducing players to the fact that, like, just while you're walking through here, spikes exist. So just have it as something that, like, have it as a really easy jump. I'm not gonna lie, like a really easy jump, but something like it's teaching the player that you need to watch out for this, you know, on a fundamental level. On a fundamental level, you need to be careful. So maybe a little set of 3 there. We could even literally have it as another little set of 3 there as well. Literally just a little bit of parkour. You jump over it, you move on with your life. Nothing too strenuous whatsoever. We could even introduce the map system in this area as well. Because I know I've got a map here. This isn't going to be where it is. This zone is pretty much exclusively to introduce the player to hidden rooms. That's what this area is for. That's it. So I might have, this is going to introduce platforming elements and you'll discover your first map. But first we want a little bit of exploration to happen. So I know that I'm going to be splitting this up into multiple different routes. So let's just block out just something that could be a little bit interesting. And there could also be little zones within this that you can discover and maybe pick up a little item, you know? Nothing too taxing, but let's make something that might look a bit interesting. And another thing I like to do when doing level design is to get inspiration. Look at how other games have laid out their maps and their environments generally. A great example is Ori and the Will of the Wisps, or Ori. Is it Ori and the Will of the Wisps that came second? Yeah, Ori and the Will of the Wisps interactive map. Is it this one? Yes, it is. Like this map here for Ori and the Will of the Wisps shows the entire map for the game and kind of showcases like the different elements that are within it. Now this isn't great in some regards because I can't see the nuances. I can see the map as is in its entirety, but the issue with this map is I can't see very clearly the actual terrain itself, which is what I'm looking to be building at the moment. I'm looking to build that individual bits of terrain that you kind of traverse over. So probably not this one. So let's have a look at the Hollow Knight interactive map. Now, which one is it? Is it the Hollow Knight or Scripts War? That's that one. Just have a look at the both, see which one works better. Well, this one's not even loading yet, so let's go into this. None. That all. Grubs, charms. Don't need to see what NPCs or bosses. Upgrades are fine. Shortcuts I don't need to see. Map miscellaneous. That's just where you discover bits of the map. It's fine. Benches. Items. Geo. Which, of course, is something that's going to be in the game as well. There's going to be... Not Geo, obviously. We can disable the glitches and switches. Semi-transparent map? No, we want the opaque one. And this is the entire Hollow Knight map as well. Which is pretty epic. The cool stuff, though... Ooh, use sketch map image? What's that? Oh, yeah, so this is the map itself. So you can kind of see the context of like how it actually looks. But then if we use the detailed map... we're then able to zoom right in and see the nuances of how the actual individual platforms work. Right, so right at the beginning is where we want to look because it's similar to it's the tutorial area essentially. Is it this? No, that's the Howling Cliffs, I do believe. So it's here. This is where the player starts. So how do they actually design the map? How does the level design impact like the way the players traverse things and things like that? Let's go full screen. Fuck it. Yeah, I'll accept the cookies as well. What does any of this do? Speedrun. So it shows you the route that you take on a speedrun by the look of it. Cool. Epic. Any other settings that would be worth looking at? Credits. No. Cool. Let's close that down. Alright, so you move over. But can I zoom in anymore? No, this is the most I can go in. Cool. So you move over, you go blah blah blah. The first thing you do is you do this little platforming section There's a little entrance here which shows you where some little bits of geo and things like that are. But as far as you know, you can't get anywhere from here. This is just an empty room. You work your way up, and there's a bit more platforming. They introduce like a little hidden room here, and they also provide you with geo as a reward. And that's all there is. They introduce a new enemy here, and some falling spikes, so the stalactites that fall in can damage you. That's introduced in this area. And another little bit that takes you here, which showcases where the... what's it called? The additional health you can get is. Now give me 1 second. I think someone's at the door, so I'm gonna be right back. Alrighty everyone, so I'm gonna take a little like 10-minute break right now. We've been going for about 3.5 hours, so I'm gonna be going. The missus just come back from work, so I'm just gonna say hello to her, get my lunch together, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes. And to answer your question, I'm actually looking at how Hollow Knight does their level design and different things, and the order at which they interact things for use in my metroidvania, which is this one right here. Epic stuff. So as I said, I'll be about 10 minutes. Yeah, I'll be back in a bit. BRB.